Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another edition of HCW Show Squared, the show with a format or formula of the HCW Show podcast, and expands to the power of, you guessed it, two. Look at one there. My name is Dan, DP, or as we all say nowadays, DPZ, yeah! Copyright infringement, and I am, of course, not alone in this. I never am nowadays. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Impact Craig. Craig, how are you doing?
You know me, it's that MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact. I am very well, thank you. Just a lot of wrestling over this last week, like a lot, and more to come. So,
Yeah.
but
It never ends.
and
Wrestling never ends.
no, it keeps on going.
Ongoing
If you want to, you can watch wrestling 7 days a week.
But you may have noticed as well,
Like, it's insane.
you may have noticed I am not just joined by Craig. I am joined once again, coming back to the channel. It's only penciled in. The penciled in crew, Nikki and penciled in Mike. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Doing good, thank you.
Keep bringing us back.
Keep pulling us back.
You know what?
Don't you?
Nice to be back. I wasn't here the last.
I ring the phone number. You know, you guys answer. And it's like sick. Let's just hang in the books.
Little pencil in the sky.
Yeah.
Say their name and they shall appear.
That was in sync as well.
We'll talk about that later. When we did that, right?
So, this will hopefully be an episode where we cover both No Mercy and the TV episode that followed. However, time constraints, yada yada, and all that stuff. We might only be doing No Mercy here. I don't know entirely yet. There'll be a note in post edit what this is. I don't know. Editor Dan, do your thing. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get this show started, and we go with NXT No Mercy, the latest NXT PLE, for the 1st of September 2024, as we get our notes ready.
These aren't my notes, by the way. Old notes.
I saw that I mentioned it. I saw people just like shuffling their papers around, and I was like, getting their notes written.
It's all up here. Let's see what I can remember.
We are professional up here.
See?
See, Mike even dressed for the occasion.
Professional.
Yeah. Whereas I'm wearing an AEW shirt. Like...
That's right, though.
That's pretty cool.
Right. So, NXT No Mercy. We started things off with the NXT Tag Team Championships. Tag champions Chase U, Andre Chase, and Ridge Holland taking on the team of Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, who we've discovered that it might not be my creation, their name. It might have been a thing already. Which is a bit of a shame.
When I was walking the dogs later that day, I thought back to it and I was like, God damn, I felt like such a piece of shit for breaking that one.
You know, would Chase U break their streak of losing within the first 3 or 4 weeks to hold the title, or will Fraxium win back their titles? Well, the answer was the latter. Fraxium win and regain the tag titles following a Spanish Fly and Phoenix Splash combination on Andre Chase. Firstly, no. And I rated this 3 3/4 stars. Just not again. Like, this is another 3 or 4 week reign with these fucking tag titles. Can we get them past the first defense?
Yeah, like, I mean, we saw what happened coming,
Yeah.
but not this soon.
No.
And like this was time for fractured Fraxium.
Fractured
It was
Yeah,
time
it's-
for the
it-
fractured faxium.
It's just
I was chuffed that Chase U had them. I was really made up. It was big pop, and I was excited to see them have at least a decent run with it. And then straight away. And I mean, at least it caught us by surprise. Wasn't expecting all that jazz straight away, but I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah. How about you,
Nah.
Greg?
I wasn't disappointed necessarily. It was just I thought it was a bit like okay, so we're doing that. That's what we're doing. That's the whole point of this. It's not been necessarily to give you guys a reign. It's been literally just it's they've been used as a storytelling device here, which is what they often are. But it's like say just very quick, and I'm surprised by it because it did seem like going somewhere. They could have gone somewhere with Braxton Doom, maybe splitting ways. I don't know. We were talking about it last time, weren't we?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so-
Quite literally the fractured faxium.
yeah, it's just that was where it felt like it should be going because they've done plenty.
Yeah.
I've seen they've had great reigns. So are they just going to be an interim thing? Because there's lots of meat in the tag team right now, literally, and kind of like as far as like a stacked roster. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, this whole thing was. What did we do it for? Was it just to set up the aftermath? Was that it? Just to give Ridge a title for him to do that? It was so pointless, and it shouldn't be how it's been. Like you've been teasing Fraxium splitting up for ages. Like. And then you put the belts back on straight away. Like, well, that didn't happen then. They're just better than everyone else. They're better than teams who have no issues. It's so. First of all, the match was a banger.
Yeah.
Like, complete banger. And as it always is with Chase U, no matter which version of Chase U you get, if they're in a match, it's a banger, especially against Fraser and Axiom. But yeah, what was it all for?
Yeah.
That aftermath, it was so pointless.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, and I'm glad no one actually said what happened afterwards, because that is the very next bit of this I was going to go into. So yeah, firstly, great match. Andre keeps showcasing himself. We know how good Fraxium are, and Ridge as well. He been improving himself, and even in this match, he did show himself to be better than what he had over the last few weeks or months. I really enjoyed it. It just sucks that Chase U can't actually hold these titles for longer than a month.
Yeah.
However, there's more to the story. Post-match, Chase U lament on their loss. They're in the middle of the ring. It's all sad. They lost titles again. Boo-hoo, etc. When suddenly Ridge attacks Riley Osborne and Duke Hudson. He throws Duke into a ring post and then lays out Andre Chase. All this while a distraught Thea Hale watches on in horror. Ridge then throws Andre from the ring to the announce table. I thought he was going to throw Andre directly onto the table. That was my initial thought. I thought that's fucking dangerous if you do that, but thankfully he didn't do it. Pardon me. And then he hits Northern Grip on the table with Andre. The crowd actually chant one more time after he hits Northern Grit.
News when it came out.
No.
What the hell happened? Are people that much behind Braxium, or are they that much against
I think
Ridge and Chase having the titles?
I think they're in the same boat that I was. And I'll get a bit more onto that as well. So Thea sells this really well. Just the crowd chanting one more time. Like, she's like, what the hell?
I think she was genuinely surprised and disappointed with that reaction.
Yeah.
I think she was genuinely disappointed by it.
It was like when they booed Rey Mysterio. She's just not booed Rey.
But yeah, why has Ridge done this? Is the main question. And it just sucks because this is the most emotionally invested I've ever been in Ridge Holland. So fair play to Ridge for actually getting me to care about something that he's doing. But
Yeah.
you know, like 3 or 4 weeks, and it's interesting because last week I even mentioned as well that the comment that Ridge said on NXT, where he said something along the lines of, as long as they have the titles, I'll continue to be happy or support them and whatever. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So it was just the
Turned out-
wording of that as well. It was like the writing on the wall sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Saying that,
Like,
I didn't see him. I didn't see him losing here.
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Lightning does indeed strike twice.
Did they had a title defense?
Was that the first one?
Or was that the first
one?
Did they have one?
That was the first one.
That was the first one, wasn't it?
And they lost him, which makes it like you say, why?
I just think if you're gonna do that with Ridge and have this, like you say, you got invested. So if he was on their side, he gets you more and more invested, weeks and weeks and weeks. They go through proper battles, real genuine shit, and then he pulls the plug on him because they lost, and he's like, "Well, now we're done."
I think he would have had more impact
Way
had they
more impact.
kind of given it more time.
Long-term storytelling
Mhm.
does work in that sense, and NXT have proven that they can do that. But yeah,
Bit rushed.
that's why I was a bit confused by the speediness of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it did
And
set the
also-
tone for the show. Like a very good way to set the tone at the very start of the show. Like this,
Yeah.
this had you like hating Ridge. If you were a big Chase U person, you hated Ridge, and that was a good way to get fans emotionally invested in this show, because you've got the turn of Ridge on Chase U, and then you're moving on straight into the next, which is another one-sided thing where it's like either like or dislike the people involved in this. So.
I will say this though, is that I don't like it when the commentary team, after something like that happens, when they use their somber voice, like something serious has just happened. Like I don't like them doing it because we've seen it when it's actually something real has happened. Like we don't need the song, like sell it, of course, but to go like Andre Chase's, like I don't know, like I said, his head chopped or something. It's a bit
Well,
much.
To be fair, Andre did need medical attention, didn't he? So.
Yeah, he was stretched out,
Yeah,
and taken to a local medical facility.
Yes.
Exactly.
He got messed up.
I don't remember if hospital or not. I can't remember if they said medical facility or hospital because they throw it around sometimes, don't they?
Yeah.
That's the thing. When it's legit, it's hospital. When it's a work, medical facility. So, like this, some of the voices just irritate me. We don't need them.
The only thing that made me think that maybe there is a more like potential reason why they've done it now is the potential that somebody is actually injured in real life, and so they had to write them off, because we've seen that in other promotions where it's like, oh no, we've got to write them off because they got injured almost immediately. So part of me wonders if maybe Andre got injured in real life and they're like, oh, he's not going to be able to do a lot of title defenses or whatever, we'll just do this now. But other than that, it doesn't make any sense. If that's not the case, it still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the freebird rule as well. So, like, if Andre was actually injured, you could just have it be Ryan or Duke with Rich.
Yeah. Also, poor Riley. You know, he was thrown from the Ultimate X, and then 24 hours later, he gets his team's like he gets beaten up by someone he trusted. Poor Riley. Yeah. Thrown around in Ultimate X, and then gets back.
Never mind Riley. Poor Thea.
Oh God, she was selling. Oh, poor girl.
It's so I just love her so much. Yeah, she's great.
Very stern faces. It wasn't like the usual, just which we got.
Yeah.
But
it's like she's gone from, you know, having her like rebellious phase, being with JC and with the other one. Thank you. Yeah, I think my name a second. Yeah, sorry. So with JC and Jasmine, she had that phase, broke out of that, you know, helped foster this new old child in Ridge Holland to the family, and you know, just having that then child then turn the family, just like how she did, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vin Diesel would not approve. He turned his back on family. Would not be okay with this. That was his sister. That was your sister, man. He's fucking.
You better be careful.
Yes.
Wyatt's might come after him.
Yeah.
They go. It does seem to be the
Family betrayers.
It's. I do have a theory on what Andre Chase could potentially come back with. Okay.
Yeah.
He basically turns into a spooky version of himself.
Not spooky.
For Halloween.
Halloween Havoc. He comes out with Winnie Shoe, and it's Chase Shoe Night School spelled NIT because that's cool. That's what happens. And he comes back all goth and shit. He's got robes.
Night school.
Night School. He's got a Phantom the opera mask on.
That would be kind of sick, to be honest. That would be kind of sick. So yeah, after this, we go into something that is quite emotionally charged. It is, of course, a singles match between Zachary Wentz and Wesley. I will say, Zachary came out with the X Division title. He was credited as being the X Division champion, but his nameplate didn't say it.
Didn't notice that.
Just fall back then.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be pretty cool, like to have the old trifecta of, you know, allowing a title to be shown on TV, being announced as being champion, and have it on the nameplate for those who have it muted or don't hear, or those who are hard of hearing.
Yeah, no, very much so.
Yeah.
The fact that the X Division title was even on NXT pay-per-view PLE is insane. So like and it wasn't a fact. It's the fact that they had him walk out and allowed him to walk out with the title.
Mm.
Only 2 people have had that happen before, and one of them was Mickey James. Like, you know,
and that was a mistake.
it's so cool because X Division is the symbol of TNA. That is TNA.
Yeah.
When it's happened, I did say Craig will pop for that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Oh yeah.
So
nice to see.
So Zach wins, quite surprisingly, in my opinion, with the assist from Trey and the UFO cutter.
Yes.
I rated this 3.5 stars. This is another great match here. It was a real display of agility and just how powerful Wesley's spinning kick is. Because he hit spinning kick, Zach went down and the table broke. Didn't that
Yeah, table just collapsed.
That was unfortunate.
all that from Wesley's kick.
Table.
Very strong kick. There was
Table went.
yeah.
No, I didn't want to.
Went to business for itself.
Yeah, that was awesome match.
Yeah.
Really, really fun. Great match. And I was really shocked by the end. At first I was like, what the fuck? But then I thought about it and processed it and I was like, oh no, that's probably the right decision actually.
Yeah.
Considering all the crap that Wesley's been talking, and we was just saying last week about how the talking down of TNA, like they've got to really do something with that. It can't just be them shitting on them and
winning all the time.
That win is solidifying. It's like no, we can respect these guys. We're working with these guys. That was my second take on it, at least.
Yeah. I didn't have him winning either. Not because he's not great. I just thought, I don't know. I just didn't consider it, I guess. But I think it was the right choice. Great match. I like the table collapsed underneath them, but they still worked with it, and it became a stomp instead.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, we had a little bit of interference. It was all really beautifully told, and it's not over clearly. Like, so yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it, but I think I agree with you rating there.
Yeah. I think we're definitely getting a rematch, probably in TNA for the X Division title.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Like I said on a show that no one will ever see because I couldn't be asked editing it. But I think we'll get a Rascals triple threat in TNA, a Bound for Glory for the X Division Championship. Because I think, I thought we'd be Victory Road, but that's happening next week, so it's not. And it's also Mike Bailey versus Wentz for it. But I think at some point, maybe on TV, we'll get a friendly rivalry between Trey and Wentz for the X title. Wentz will get involved, and that'll lead to a triple threat at Bound for Glory. That's what I'm hoping. But as far as this match went, it wasn't just the fact Wentz came out with a title and had a banger of a match. Zachary Wentz becomes the first ever contracted TNA wrestler to ever win a match on a WWE PLE. Wow. That is mind blowing. That's happened, and he's a contracted TNA wrestler, current X Division champion, and to go and put a banger of a match like we knew they could, because when you have a friendship and you have a rivalry, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I've said it so many times, I'm a huge fan of a tag team breakup feud. I think it's when it has that extra emotion into it, it can be so much better because they know each other so well. They know they can take it a little bit further than they could if they just work together on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
These two live together. They've driven everywhere together. They've traveled the world, and so we know they're going to have an absolute banger. Trey popping up was very cool because Trey felt like he was left out of this feud. Mm-hmm. Trey was just on it. But it makes sense now that Trey wasn't mentally cleared for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So he changed to come mentally cleared again. So it makes a bit more sense now. But my only, it's not even really an issue. It's just I guess a tiny issue I had with the match was that I felt like it could have gone a bit longer. It felt a bit too short. If that had gone a bit longer, then I think it still is, but a little bit longer, and that could have been up there as match of the night. But it's just the timing, it's a bit short. It's still very cool that all that happened, and he was introduced as the TNA X Division champion, a banging match, and working around the table collapsing. I loved this match, and it popped me when Wentz won because I didn't see it coming either. I did it first. If you watch when we previewed it, I said Wentz first, but then changed my mind a few seconds later, and I was so gutted I changed my mind. I knew he was going to win it. I don't know why I backed myself. Rascals on top.
Yeah, it seems that way for now. Go on though. Does Wes get his comeback? Even his win back in this feud or what would I call it? This rivalry.
I'd say if maybe the length of time of the match is because it is going to go longer. It's going to go across TNA.
It's going to have a bigger.
It's going to be one of those matches that brings whatever big show they're going to lead to together.
Yeah.
So because I like yourself is this would have suited that black and gold NXT. Not all of them, but a couple of more of the near falls. Just a little bit of extra urgency, kind of thing. A little bit more of that, and it would have been a perfect match for sure. No, not perfect, but you know what I mean. 4.5 around that area for me. But I mark high.
And also, one more thing before we move on. Do we think Wesley's winning the X Division title? Say in the next month or two.
If they're going to continue this thing, yeah.
That is for me. That is a difficult question because when the Rascals came to TNA, I thought they were pushing the wrong guy as a singles guy. I thought push Wes instead of Dez at the time instead of Trey as the guy going X Division. Changed my mind back and forth a lot, and he should have been X Division champion when he was running TNA. But if they do it soon, then there'll be a second very short run for the X Division title. Mike Bailey held it for a few months at Slammiversary, so I think 2 months, and he probably lost it, a bit less maybe. And then if Wes loses it, short again, because like I said, I think it's going to go to Bound for Glory, which is October, the 25th of October. I just don't know. I think we'll get Rascal Triple Threat for the title of Bound for Glory, but I don't know if Wes is going to be the first person to win a title from the other company. I wouldn't be against it, but I just don't see it yet.
That's fair.
It's one of those see how it develops kind of thing. I feel like it's still kind of early days yet, but like the fact that we're even questioning if that's a possibility shows that there's some bits to this story where it could still make sense, because you've got the emotional, like people might look at Wesley and be like, oh, it kind of makes sense, because he's part of their group, was part of the group and everything. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with it in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So we move on from that with not a match. It's an Insta reel with Hank and Tank.
Oh yes.
They mark out over the tag title match. They praise Nathan and Axiom, calling Nathan nauseating because of his speed. They say that Fraction will need new number one contenders for tag belts, so they're teasing it. Hank and Tank, new tag champions. Yeah.
Coming. We were discussing this, the rise of Hank and Tank, but that's for another. That's more for.
I love
later down the line.
Love Hank and Tank. I really hope to see them eventually hold those titles on over their heads.
That's gonna be one of those yay moments.
That'll be good. After that we go backstage. It's, of course, Joe Hendry. Thank you. He's working out when Trick comes in to remind us that he's the referee for tonight's main event. And then Trick also believes in Hendry, and that's pretty much it.
Nice little.
He came in to be like, "Hey Joe, just to remind you, I'm the referee for tonight's match." Even though, Joe forgot. Yeah.
I do like how Joe was like, "But just remember, I'll make you number one contender." And thing. I love it if Chick was just like, "Oh, what? No, I wasn't coming to. Oh, that thing. Don't worry about that. Stop."
I think he just wanted to show off his like cool ref shirt. Everything at this now. Great.
It was better. Well, was it better than Seth's? Who knows?
Oh, I don't know.
That's hard.
They're totally different styles.
He's the drip lord.
That's a whole other list, a whole other conversation.
It's a whole other video that we can do. Just style. The restless.
Shirts.
Oh yeah.
So following on from that, we went to the NXT Women's North American Championship. Champion Kalani Jordan taking on the spooky Wendy Choo.
Ooh, Wendy.
Soon to be assistant principal of night school.
So yeah, Kalani wins and retains with a 450 splash and then a split-legged moonsault. I rated this 2.5 stars. It was a match that happened on a PLE. For me, it just failed to get out of first gear. I don't know what went wrong. It felt quite sluggish and a little sloppy. Kalani got the win, which I feel was the right call, as Wendy's character just isn't getting the reactions I imagine that they want her character to get. It's mostly quiet for her entrances, which I get might be the thing they're going for. I don't entirely know. It's a very weird character that doesn't really seem to connect to people.
The crowd do that chant. They all go, Wendy, Wendy. Like, that's the thing that they do. They don't cheer loud for her. That's what they do. And they do it throughout her matches as well. The chant will just kind of stir up and then die down.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some moments, but I think, I think it seems like people love her. That's what I'm getting from when I'm watching it. crowd and everybody seems to quite like her, but I think people don't quite understand what she's doing yet.
Yeah, she hasn't really made
like the point. Yeah. She's not made a point yet. The dolls and all that. Like it's not all come together yet.
Yeah, it's just random thrown in, but no actual explanation for anything. Rosemary coming in, it's been cool.
Yeah,
she gets to like that's neat, but
kind of intimidating.
It's like still with Wendy when she's on her own. It's just Wendy, and the match itself could have been the main event on a weekly show or on a special, something like that for sure. It wasn't. I do think because, like you say, a bit sluggish. I know Wendy Chu is particularly faster than that, but I do remember they are in Denver. And altitude is a motherfucker. And
even Booker T said it on commentary.
They pointed out a few times. Yeah, like UFC fighters all the time. Like it's one of those, isn't it? But yeah, I was around the 2.5-3 just because it was like this was, like you say, it was a match. It was a match, and it was. Did it raise anyone's stock? I don't know. It gave Kalani a bit more. There was. Again, you see a slight bit more aggression from Kalani each time. Wendy's got a
notch for her events as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's gives her the dominance, and if you're using the title to build the star kind of thing, a win is a win, and that's important. Because think back, you don't think about what the match was. It's just I beat such and such, I beat such and such, I beat such and such, and they're players regardless of if the match was good or not. So yeah, there are definite positives to be taken from it, but also, I wanted more, but I always want more. I'm a greedy fuck.
Yeah, I felt a bit more from this than what I got. Like I don't know what I was expecting from this. It's just not what I got.
Yeah.
With this match, for me, I've very much got positives and negatives. Start with the positives. Wendy Chu's character has already changed and developed a bit more. You can see a bit more from how it started. You can see what they're trying to go, where they're trying to go with it. Another positive was that
I don't see it personally.
I think she showed more, of an expression, more reactionary than she had been in the past. She'd been very deadpan, not doing much, but she was smiling in this one. She was
yeah, I know what you mean. She's bringing more personality.
Yeah, her body language is a bit different, and then just being like a zombie essentially. She gave more into it, which is kind of where I think they should be going with it. And the positive was that it was a very good match, but was it PLE level? Probably not. You've Mike mentioned it there that they're trying to build Kalani through the title, and I think that's just not the way to go about it. You need to build that title. And I said it last week. I thought Wendy was going to win this match because you need you need a more steady hand, a more experienced hand building a championship. You need it because the men's North American title has typically been a workhorse title, and I don't get the same vibe from this one. I don't know where they're going with it. Is it just other than building Kalani through it? But that's if this reign doesn't turn out to be what they hoped, then does that do damage to the title? I just don't.
I don't
because
think it does.
The title
it's the inaugural reign. It's like the first title holder as well. You can't really go wrong with the first title holder.
But
building both the title and her, and she'll be synonymous with it at some point. So I guess it just kind of makes sense to kind of weave it into her. They're
telling the story with it like they did with Bram. When he got the revamped title as well. But it worked. I feel like it worked for him. I feel like it really did, and it took a minute because there was months where I wasn't sure on Braun, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, he's really picking up the pieces, and then suddenly I gave a shit about the NXT title again, and that's what I hope a lot with NXT because it's been proven to work.
It was us wrong.
It really does. We usually get something good out of it, so I'm hoping that it will work because you're right, it doesn't feel currently like that's the way to go or that it's necessarily working. What I noticed with Kalani is, and that they did with Braun, I think they are trying to do the same thing because with each contender, with each battle, it's always about a different side of the champion's personality that they need to overcome or need to find and unlock. Like with Braun, it was calming down the violence, not being the big dog and being smarter about it. Whereas with Kalani, it's the opposite because she's already smart. She's smart lass, she's athletic, but she needs to bring that beast out, man.
Yeah.
She needs to bring that darkness out. So that's how I'm taking it.
Yeah, I guess that's what I get from it too.
Yeah.
But just from pattern recognition mostly.
Yeah.
Like fixation and pattern recognition.
Maybe I just feel like if you want to build a champion up as well as the title, like I feel like how TNA booking Jordan Grace with the constant open challenges, that should be the way to go about it. Like because I'm not getting a lot of character from Kalani because she's still quite new, and that's my issue. There needs to be something other than I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing here with Kalani, like because I'm not getting a lot of character.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a good aggression. It's just she's the champion, she's defending the title, and she's got to do this against. She's got to not seen many barriers she's got to go through, and to build her the title. That's where I'm struggling a little bit to see the direction.
That's fair.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I think we might see more of Kalani's character in the coming weeks with what happened on TV. But yeah, as of this PLE, there's not particularly much to go off. Again, in my opinion. But obviously some of us
small
are
things
higher than the others on Kalani's title reign and Wendy's character, and it is what it is. So after this, post-match, Tatum Paxley returns and locks in a Dragon Sleeper on Wendy to knock her out after like 3 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a legit show. We'll be going for 30 seconds, you're out, bro.
So yeah, it's cool that Tatum's back. I mean, I did call it last week that she'd come back at this show. But yeah, it's cool Tatum's back, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that the Wendy Chu and Tatum say go into a program. I think that whatever it is that kind of stopping block with Wendy, it's probably gonna come out, and we're gonna get it and we're gonna understand it, because I think it's also like dance partners as well.
Yeah.
And Tatum's spooky as well, and creepy and quite aggressive, and she does submission holds. So does Wendy. It's probably going to be quite an interesting thing when they finally do like meet each other, because I imagine that's where this is all going to go at some point.
Probably a Halloween Havoc.
Sounds like it could be a Halloween Havoc kind of match for me. Yeah.
So if we get to NXT, if we get to the weekly NXT show on this show, that I've got an idea of where this could be heading, especially the crossover with TNA. I've got a feeling, and it makes sense, especially after Roseman said on TNA this week.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, after this, we get a tweet from Wolfgang, which reveals that Gallus also won a tag title shot. Cool.
I missed that comment.
Using every week, but
Yeah.
This is why I suffer to get through all of this.
Yeah.
To write everything down. We get a backstage interview with Ridge Holland, where he's asked why he did what he did to Andre Chase. Ridge doesn't answer. He just smirks and walks off. You bastard, Ridge!
Yeah. Like, fuck. What did I do? I'm
Trying to do my job, guy. So rude. I really do. I pray for the day that one of these, any of them, I feel like it should be Renee Paquette, to be honest, because she's the one who seems like she's probably more likely to do it. I just want one of these backstage interviewers when a wrestler's just super rude with them for no reason, just go cut a promo on them. Or just knock them with a microphone or something, or like launch it after them. Just anything. Just be like, "What me?"
Like,
Yeah,
have you seen?
two.
Have you guys seen that clip of Daniel Garcia throwing the microphone at MJF on Dynamite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just have an interviewer do that with someone. Like, they leave the ring to just like, how dare you leave? And they just throw the mic at them.
You just imagine just like little Kayla or someone like that, just like just cutting a promo on these wrestlers for just being rude. It's like, I'm just doing my job. I'd love it. Please, someone do it. But
One of two I need to see. It'd be Renee or Gia Miller. Right. Gia Miller will go off.
I mean, Gia's got attitude. Like, I've seen her on the indies. Like, she's got attitude.
Not seen enough, but
that Renee Hangman feud's brewing. It's a completely different promo, but he keeps giving her sass. She's gonna get him.
Well, like, do you remember Paul Heyman and Caleb Braxton?
I love that. So much.
That made that during the time as well, 2021 stuff.
That was some of the best stuff they were doing.
Yeah, that was genuinely made it watchable at times. SmackDown was the lesser of two evils when it came to the main shows, because there wasn't 3 hours of it. But that was definitely one of the better parts.
Yeah, they saved it for us for one point and two.
Easy to watch.
Yeah.
But
Anyhow,
let's get this back on the road. Move on to the NXT North American Championships. This is the men's one. Champion Ofemi defends against the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. I will say, as well, like we were talking about this earlier. We're not talking about this. We had a tweet exchange earlier where we talked about like doing entrances and different style and like different auras and stuff like that. Oba is the walking definition of aura.
100%.
The camera work, the strut he has, like the confidence.
Brilliant.
The staring down, not breaking eye contact. He's just going. He knows where he's going. He's got everyone that. I love it. From the first time he came out at PLE, I was like, "Oh my god, this guy, he's got it."
It's like you hear the drums behind him in the theme, like, and it's yeah.
It's a big guy coming out, and he's gonna back up. Like everything about it just gives that.
Absolutely. So yeah, the match itself, Oba wins and retains with a series of power bombs, resulting in a final sit-out powerbomb. I rated this 3.5 stars. It was great, don't get me wrong, but a little underwhelming, if I'm being completely honest. This was one of Oba's weaker matches and one of Tony's stronger matches, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, it's like Wendy and Kalani earlier. I expected more from this. But I do suspect that the reason why we didn't get as much as we could have got was because Tony did pick up an injury in this match with his ankle. Very quite early in the match too, he got it. So fair play to him. He still continued on. Like,
yeah, he gets it. It
was a toe hold that did him in with Carmelo Hayes, wasn't it, or Wesley?
There's something wrong with his not weak. It sounds awful, but his ankles.
Yeah,
his Achilles, as it were.
I'm with you on this match. It did kind of feel a little bit underwhelming. When you put it, I mean, no one put up the expectation for this match. Like, we knew it was going to be great, but we kind of put the expectation on ourselves. Yeah. That's how it goes with wrestling in general. And not saying it wasn't a great match, because it was. It just, I was expecting a match to the night level match. And yes, Tony's injury didn't help. And for what we got was still very good. But yeah, it just it could have been a lot better. Also, why did Oba go after the family? Like they don't typically get involved. Why did he? Did I miss something? Like he just
Sorry.
He went for the
Oba went
family.
after Saxon.
Stacks and
Yeah, he started.
Juicy Lucy.
I mean, it's fair because Luca had a wrench. Was it wrench or
Who's Luca? Craig, who's Luca?
Juicy Lucy?
Ah, thank you.
Juicy.
Yeah,
No, it was on his sleeve.
So I think he knows that.
My man had a crowbar on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He always seems that's his thing. So Oba's not stupid. So he's like, I'm not gonna let you do the usual bullshit on me. So I'm just gonna reach on in and pull this goddamn crowbar out. I think it's a crowbar, but it was in his sleeve. He keeps it in his jacket sleeve.
When do the family get involved? Though I don't see the family get involved in that. It's like a personal thing. They might now.
They don't, but I think Oba is a credible, not enough threat for them to get involved.
I think Lucy, when he gets quite involved, he does tend to a little bit. So I think Obi was just like, you know what? I'm going to get ahead of you and I'm going to do this before you do it. Because I know it's a thing. I know you've got a crowbar in there. So I'm just going to take this out of the situation.
Because Stacks had sleeveless,
yeah,
short sleeves on. So that's because I was just going to say, how did he know? Maybe Lucy.
He's walking like this with one arm perfectly straight up.
He's hiding it. So I'm like, I'm going to hide it. I'll see it.
High five. Yeah, it's slightly sus for me.
Hey,
A little bit sus.
if there's anyone here who's not sus, it's Mr. Impact Craig over here.
Anyway,
in regards to this match,
yes, I
really enjoyed it. I would give it more than that, just because I agree. I expected more. I did expect more. I love the Don. I think he is actually an excellent wrestler. I think that he's had some friggin' bangers over the last year or so. His character's been brilliant. His overall development has been amazing. It's been great to see. I was expecting, like all of us, great things for the match with Oba. And he started off really well, and I know this because I wrote Big Pop, which usually means that I was enjoying myself. I didn't go off whether I enjoyed myself. Like, I try not to kind of look too deep into it, like, oh, they didn't do this many moves, or this many of this move, which is usually a thing. Try and go off whether it's keeping me entertained or anything. Yeah. Then it was obvious Tony was injured. And then I was like, oh, no. And yeah, that's when things started to break down a little bit. There was rest holds where they were clearly trying to just like work out what they were going to do. And it took a minute. It did take a minute. And then they did get it back on some kind of track. And then I was right back in there again while continuously worrying about that ankle, because I was like, that's got to be pain. He's got to be in so much pain.
Never watched footwork like that in my life before. Yeah. It's like, when's it going to go again? Don't go again.
When they showed the slow-mo as well, you see his ankle go and his right knee twists. So not only did his ankle go over, he also twisted his knee. So both legs were down for a minute. Yeah. So considering that his legs on both sides were bongoed, for him to go on and produce the match that we actually wound up having, I've got to give him a little bit more love for it, because it was still a great match with a clear injury and a gross one, because that knee, when you look at it on the slow-mo, it's...
Yeah.
So, yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed it. And for me, it was actually, I think, my match of the night. For enjoying it and, like...
Yeah.
No. I think it was for sure...
One off.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Craig
agree with me there. Yeah, he's like, do you know what? You know what? Fuck you.
I'm done with this show. I'm off.
Well, listen here, Craig. No.
I bet watching you again when you chew. I bet like Matt was messing my stream. What? Anyway, come back.
Oh, and it's funny you mention that because here she is now.
I'm with Nick on the. I'm kind of like I'm right smack bang in between the two of you. I think 3.75 for me, just because. One, I'm a politician, clearly, apparently.
He's dressed like one.
I'm dressed like
one of the family.
I'm dressed like Juicy Lucifina.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to be juicy. Lucy.
Juicy Lucy Tab. It was either this or that. And
like stars in their eyes.
Yeah, again, I think the reason why I enjoyed it more, it was another one of those on the second watch. I enjoyed it more because that expectation had been kind of settled and I knew what I was getting, and then I was able to kind of like go into it a bit more. You could see this was a tough match for her, but like you said right at the beginning, this was definitely
It was new for him.
It was a sign of like, okay, like that you've still got holes in your game, your cardio, against bigger guys, because he's gone this length before, but never this amount of time against a guy who is like, I think he's deceptively like big as well, because he's big to look at anyway, Tony. But I think there's like because he's stocky kind of thing. He's short. He's not the tallest. I don't even know, to be honest, because everyone looks small next to her. But that was like, it was a test, and I think he definitely passed the test. It left me wanting more, which is not necessarily what I wanted, but I do want more, which is a good sign. And also, again, like I say, tell the altitude affected him. You could see it in his stomach and the way his deep guttural breaths and stuff like that. When AEW were there recently, you could see it in like Butcher and FTR as well. You could really see like the heavy breathing, and that's not to crap on anyone. Elevation, man, it's wild. So yeah, like that. It delivered on a lot of things, not necessarily on everything for me. But second time round, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more because I was originally in the same boat. I actually gave it a 3 initially in my head. The first time I watched it, something just didn't click with me, and I knew that wasn't right.
Yeah,
I knew there was something wrong there because I love both of those dudes. And like you say, just I could watch that all friggin' day. In fact, I'm going to start my day with that. I'm going to walk downstairs like Oba.
Just set your alarm to play the tune of Overmu's theme. Just like.
We should do to see which wrestling theme is the best one to wake up to, and we'll do an experiment.
Shawn Michaels.
I've got Jay into his mind. Jay was saying to me that he's like, yeah, I get up and just yeet all over myself.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
great one. Just waking up, like.
Just a little bit of energy.
But would you get up or be just laying down like?
Yeah.
I'm taking certain yeet.
And you eat myself down the stairs. Just half asleep.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't throw yourself down the stairs.
Yeet.
I'm really quick. I'm like, let's go.
I was just gonna,
Another.
I'm gonna jump. You.
Like Ralph. Or Pat McAfee. One in the same.
Oh god, what was the next match?
Swear when we drive.
So yeah, after this match, we went backstage. Ethan Page is approached by Trick Williams. Trick's like, "Don't worry, I'm the referee. In case you forgot, I'm the referee. But I'm gonna let you know I'm calling down the middle." And then Ethan's like, "No, you're not.
Right.
No, you're not. I know what you're like. No, you're not."
Ethan took a mean attitude as well.
But basically, Trick says like, unless Ethan doesn't follow his rules, he'll keep it down the middle. But in which case, if he doesn't follow the rules, he'll commit assault on Ethan by whipping at Ethan. Which is against all the rules of being a referee. Just saying.
to go out there and threaten people before you go in the ring.
That's a special guest enforcer. That's why they have that.
Yeah.
They have the special enforcer.
Mm.
If you get Jarrett, you stand at the top of the ring, and then occasionally just walk down and go.
Just stand like this.
Yeah.
Just...
I wear Jerry's cards.
Trick wearing a whistle really annoyed me for some reason. I don't know why he had a whistle on it. It bugged me.
So
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Really, I just bugged me for some reason.
Hmm.
I'm gonna call it in the middle. What match are you calling? I've got a fucking whistle.
So, after that weird thing, we had a backstage interview with Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel. They're pleased that Zachary won, and they send out a challenge to Fraxium for the tag titles, which is something that Craig is very excited for. And we get more confirmation on that on the TV episode, so we won't go too much into that. We move on to the next match of the night, which was, spoilers, my match of the night for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez defending against Jada Parker. Roxanne wins and retains following 2 pop rocks, and I rated this 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed this fantastic match. The story that was told here and what these 2 competitors put on. Jada is a future star for sure, and it's amazing because she debuted like what, half a year ago, if that.
It feels like she's only been on TV for like 6 months. I know she's been here for a bit longer because she was there with Scripps and stuff last year, right? But she didn't fully come into her own until she was able to speak.
Yeah, OTM.
It was when Scripps left that, like we said, that's when she started speaking, and they were like, "Oh, this chick rocks."
She's awesome. Love her.
She's a badass. It helped as well that Gabe Kidd like shouted her out and like trying to hit on her. They're like, wait, no,
She just ignored him, and I was like, legend.
But she's really great showing for her. Amazing. Like you say, the story she's got. If she's got a legit rib injury, then fair enough. But if she doesn't,
I think it's
give her a
it's
fucking
there.
Oscar, man. Like, yeah.
I think he like landed on him.
It was like she went hard, really throwing real hard shots and throwing herself into everything. It made me feel like on like a booking level, it's like, is this her moment? Is she not willing to go out injured because this is her moment? So it gave me that extra level of like, well, that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? It's like she's pushing everything. I had a thought maybe for a second, shit, she could win.
Yeah.
Obviously not the case, but and Roxy, as always, Roxy's fucking
She's mint.
Can't fault.
Yeah.
brilliant.
It's insane. It just is insane that was a star-making performance, and when I say star, I mean star-making performance.
Stop.
Sorry, say again, Craig.
Which part?
The second part.
So we knew that match was going to be good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've only really count myself watching NXT from like Vengeance Day, like on a regular basis, and also that was, I think it was the first proper match. It was six person tag, but it was still a fantastic like match. Like, Jada Parker is exceptional. Her matches with Michin were, again, that was just the beginning. Like she is so good, and the fact she can get the crowd behind her when she was supposed to be in a heel group. Yeah. Roxanne is fantastic, and it's beyond ridiculous that some people won't say who believe she's not ready for the main roster. Like, have you not been watching her? Have you not been watching this? Maybe her promos could do a little bit of work, but she's more than ready for the main roster.
She has more character than 95% of the roster. On the
roster.
Like,
it's far more interesting.
If they need a bit of work, so do AJ Styles is. He's a legend. He's not. He's not. He's in recent years. He's not been the most stellar on the mic at times, but he's still AJ fucking Styles. He belongs there. He belongs at the top of wherever he is.
Not anymore because he quit. He quit. Remember, he quit. So.
It's just if you watch Roxanne week to week and believe she's not ready for the main roster, you are talking out of your arse. It's such nonsense. But this match was just. Admittedly, I didn't think it would be as good. I thought Roxanne would have to do most of the work to make it a good match. But I'm so happy I was wrong. So happy I was wrong. Jada Parker is next.
Yeah.
It will more likely be the person who shows up. But Jada Parker, as soon as Roxanne's on the main roster, that spot Jada Parker's to take.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a very good spot they're in at the NXT women's division. There's a handful of stars on that roster who can take Roxanne's spot when she goes up. It's just one person anymore. It's a good 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's a hot division at the minute. That was my other match of the night. Was this one, and I have been high on Jada since pretty much the beginning. When I first saw, I was like, "There's something about this chick." I'd say there's just something there. She was trying to make the whole OTM with Reggie, all of that work, and she actually kind of almost wound up being a little bit more of the mouthpiece. And kind of felt a little bit more like, oh, she's a bit of a boss. I like it. And then over time, her matches, I'm like, she is strong star. She hits hard. She goes hard, and she doesn't seem to second guess herself in the ring. I don't see her going, and now I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to do this. Like you do see some people. So I was really excited for this match because Roxanne's awesome, and I've been pretty much on the Jada train since the beginning. And to watch them both put on such a great match and tell such a wonderful story and really just elevate each other in such a wonderful way, I was really blown away by it. And it's great to see the women's division getting that kind of moment and these really juicy stories and matches rather than just the kind of GCSA level stuff. This is some juicy stuff, so I'm quite excited about it. So yeah, that I get 4 star for me as well with that one.
Hey. But yeah, honestly, I'd stick with Kalani. That'd be the next thing for me, for her. Have her go after the North American title.
Have a win. Have a win that title.
Obviously, now we know from TV that ain't the case for the time being. But at the time of the PLE, I was like, you know what? She can beat Kalani at this point for the title. Yeah. I'm down for that.
I wouldn't believe after that match that she had with Roxy that if Kalani beat her, it wasn't obviously it's a box match, but you know what I mean? It wouldn't be as believable a win for Kalani yet. Maybe further down the line if that was to happen. But yeah, I Jada, put some gold on her.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fully.
Big time.
You know what, a curveball wants to be a curveball, but if Jada Parker was the first person in the NXT relationship to win a TNA Knockers World title, I wouldn't be against it. I would. I see definite, but I would not be against it. Jada Parker on TNA, yes, please.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. So, speaking of juicy, not Lucy, but speaking of juicy, we get some confirmation to the juicy rumor mill as the lights go out, and out comes Julia.
Hey, wasn't Linda.
She
again.
Aura. Yeah.
She looked great.
It was
really did.
It was not the same as when Shinsuke first went in NXT, because that was a whole level of aura. But this is up there. The entrance and just the way she holds herself and the way that the lighting is, the camera work, everything you know instantly she's a star.
Yeah, she felt like an immediate big deal in every way.
Roxy's reaction as well, and
Brilliant.
yeah.
In general, Julia, like it feels like she came out of nowhere and just blew up, and now is on WWE TV. Like it just felt like it happened overnight.
So yeah, I mean, there was controversy about her in Japan because she essentially backstabbed her old promoter to join Stardom.
Even before that, when she was in Stardom, it was she. Again, her success just felt like from nowhere. Like obviously, people in Japan were very much aware of how good she was. It just didn't transfer over here or in the States very well.
Yeah.
But I can go back to I think it was Multiverse United. One of my favorite matches of that year. It was I hadn't heard of Julia up at this point. It was Julia versus Jenna Peraza versus Giselle Shaw versus. I keep forgetting the fourth person in that match, and it's driving me crazy. But it was my favorite match of that year.
Yeah.
And it just Julia is fantastic, and I cannot wait to see what she does.
Yeah.
But I am worried about obviously Joshi's come over to NXT, do well on NXT, main roster, and they're kind of stereotyped.
Yeah, they're doing better. But at the minute, though, I think with Triple H, he's doing better with that. Like Tozawa is now getting legitimate matches as part of the Alpha Academy, rather than just being this little guy who goes.
The smaller
still not enough respect on his name, but they're getting there. Like,
they're trying.
They're trying.
I hope at least it's a far cry from like Kai and Time.
Kabuki Warriors, did you see Perry Sane looked absolutely unhinged and insane the other night, but
what the image to go through that was her face exploded, and it was just like she looked like a badass.
I'm assuming the desk came off worse, by the way she just got up and cracked on. And she just like in people's faces afterwards. Just
scary how tough she is, because she just doesn't. It's like you look like you could just snap her. It's like, oh no, she'll destroy.
Like Julia is the same sort of caliber. Like
yeah.
Like you
so I think
WWE have brought in like these amazing Joshi wrestlers like Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, even Sarai at one point. Like,
yeah,
I mean she's gone now, but you know,
yeah.
And now they brought in Julia, who's another addition to this amazing roster, and as Craig said, like you wonder what she's gonna do. Like we know, we know what the first port of call is, but after that, where do we go from there?
Yeah, she feels too big to not just be in the title feud constantly.
Yeah.
You know what?
Like,
Roxanne, then Kalani, and then she goes to Raw.
Immediately making it seem like this presence and this star is like
you don't want to do a Jade.
Kind of forcing people's hands here, guys.
like with Jade Cargill, they really they overhyped.
Yes.
AEW fans love Jade, but even we were like, she is still very green, and they're very much going, she's the best thing you'll ever see in your life, and it was just not fair to Jade or anyone else, but definitely not fair to Jade because she wasn't there yet. So it's like when you do that, when you book yourself into that kind of situation of this person is awesome, and I think they've been really careful with Julia as a result of the going too far with it with the Jade stuff. I think they've been really smart about it with Julia.
Unless I'm mistaken, didn't Jade wrestling wasn't where she started with it? She was
she definitely
basketball. Yeah.
Lash basketball, and there's a few other ladies who are from NBA.
Julia has, she's training in the Japanese dojo. Is like, there's no fucking about with Julia.
Like wrestling, it's in her blood.
I'm talking about presentation from the company.
Where she is when the roster's straight away, so kind of thing. How over on that.
Yeah, so before Jade actually did turn up and wrestle, they were like, "Oh, Jade's coming! Oh my god, it's going to be the..." And then we didn't quite get that, and so I think they're very careful about how they're presenting people coming in who have already got like a career behind them, because she's amazing. There's no direct comparison happening here. I just think they want to be careful about going, oh, it's Julia, you know, too much, because we've had a flop with that, and you just kind of pull it back a bit. And they've done that with Julia. That's what I'm saying. It's been a really great transition of bringing her in, and then the things. So,
Like,
Definitely the right time.
Like, they didn't really like reference her. They just showed her in the crowd last time. And like, oh, cool, she's gonna be here at some point. And then she was here. No one talked about her on like TV.
Roxanne mentioned her a few times, which I liked. Roxanne mentioned her a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she said in
the threat.
Yeah. But
it's been very kind of like breadcrumbed and not too.
And to forget that it could be her, so you
could have been Stephanie.
And also knowing that there is somebody else in the mix, it did, like when we had the conversation last week, it does throw in that, like, whoo.
Yeah, exactly.
I was still popping a little for it to be Mako Satomura, to be honest. Little part was like, you know, like, this is awesome, because it was so cool. It really was. But I was also like, oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
It's okay, just because of all the myths. We're like, who is it? What's is it Stephanie? Is it Julia? Who we got?
Also got Delta from Australia, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've got a slight bone to pick with this a little bit, but I'll get to that afterwards, because it does link in with the last match. So we go backstage with Ava. She has no medical update on Andre Chase. She also announces what's next for the tag titles. It'll be a triple threat tag title contendership match between the Rascals, Gallus, and Hank and Tank. So obviously we know who's winning there. Hank and Tank. Also, whoever wins here between Joe and Ethan will defend the NXT Championship when NXT comes to CW on October 1st. So, cool. They're setting things up already for that CW show. So, we move on to the main event of tonight's show. The NXT Championship special guest referee match. Referee is Trick Williams. I just you know, I had to remind you, you know, like how Trick did, that Trick is the referee for the match. Champion Ethan Page defends against Joe Hendry.
I've got the dog under my thing. I missed it.
Unbelievable. No. So
well, I knew it was the next one.
To start things off, there's no custom entrance music or video. It's just the Joe Hendry one. Cool, I guess.
Around?
Because he did it. He did it for the company he signed for.
Doesn't count.
He did a very special one for that.
Yeah, but the big, you know, WWE money. You could do a whole thing with WWE money.
True.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, but
The Hardys. Like, why are you going to do with the Hardys? Who are you picking over Ethan Page or the Hardys?
Ethan Page.
I did, like, as performers currently.
Ethan Page.
Because that's I'm gonna have to face some harsh truths there that I don't want to have to face, but I have to face.
I'm an OG. They got me into wrestling, but even I'm comfortable enough to admit that.
Based on their overall career.
Oh, overall career, yeah, Hardy's 100%.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Never, very few of us, to be honest, because Hardy's all the way. But I haven't seen him in TNA yet, though. Their actual, like, any of their proper matches. So I need to before I can cast judgment.
I can't even.
No. You know, I was always more of a edge pushing guy, to be honest.
I love them too. I was tag team wrestling is what got me into
it was
the Hardys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, the whole TLC ladder, all that stuff. That's what made me a fan. So, like, and I had posters of them all on my wall and stuff. Like, always been a huge fan of them.
Mm-hmm.
Always Team Hardy, but we can live off nostalgia in TNA because that's pretty much all we've got.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's sad, but it's true.
It is true. So yeah, NXT Championship. Ethan Page, Joe Hendry. Ethan Page wins and retains following a low blow and Ego's Edge, which I'll say, look, fucking gnarly the way Hendry landed for that.
Eye on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Whoa.
White the Judder.
He was hard though, Joe Hendry.
I rated it 3 stars. It was alright. Certainly not a main event by any means. This for me lacked purpose. It also didn't really have any credible build going into it. Your build was, oh, it's Joe Hendry, and oh, Ethan got pinned again on TV. That was the build for this match.
And the song.
And the song, of course, yes. Ironically, the only real aspect of this match for me that was interesting was when Trick Williams was the referee, and if he would maintain the peace and keep it down the middle, and that whole thing of could he be impartial for this and not be biased against Ethan, because he had a preference in this match.
Yeah, he made that clear. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, they put on an average match in the main event of a PLE, and the main event should have been Roxanne and Jada.
It should have ended with Julia coming out. That's how it should have ended. That's how this pay-per-view should be remembered. When you look back on like YouTube lists and it's like remembered like years from now, and it's like top pay-per-view moments and stuff like that.
Last shot.
That should have been the last shot.
Yeah.
That it should have been. It was a perfect moment for it, but I can understand.
I don't like bringing it up all the time, but it's something I feel like I've got to mention. And it's not like gender politics or shit like that, but why do companies have an issue of putting women in the main event?
Not all of them do.
No, yes. Sometimes it's a channel thing. Genuinely a channel issue with some promotions. If you look at AEW, they can do it on Ring of Honor, but they can't really do it too much on Dynamite and Collision. That's when channels get involved. And yeah, you've got the unfortunate still within WWE sometimes, just in general, actually, you still got the whole mantra of like, oh, woman's match, toilet break. Still seems to be a bit of a thing, but it's nice to see more of these matches getting that spot. But yeah, when you kind of play the two and side by side them, that match and should have been the main event. It had more going into it, the story going into it. It's the women's title, so it makes sense as well for that to be at the top. But like you said, I understand why they did it, because it's the NXT title and that one's meant to be there.
As much as Jada Parker nailed it and had a coming out party, she's not the same draw as the biggest social media superstar wrestler right now, Ethan Page as a champion. And with the former one of the most beloved people in NXT, Trick Williams, involved. So it just the reality is it sadly didn't deliver in the way that it should have.
It didn't like me.
It was entertaining. It was definitely entertaining. It was a good match. It was fine. You know, you had some weird drama between the refs as well, because that all felt strange, and it definitely kind of was like, did you call it down the middle because you just
stopped the call?
Fully stopped the pin. Like that's some cause for disqualification shit.
That moment kind of confused me a little bit. It felt like they were just trying to find a way to give a ref moment so that Trick had a bit of a moment, but I feel like it was a bit.
It gives Ethan that.
I feel like that came more because, like, you know, Trick saw that Ethan pushed Joe into him.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's all I needed. That's all I needed to get back around. Genuinely, it's like, I can genuinely start thinking about that.
So I think it was more just, you know, like he'll do it once because, you know, Ethan attacked him, so he'll prevent one for Ethan.
Yeah, that kind of.
Watching this match, I was genuinely trying to remain unbiased, because You know, I've made my feelings on Joe Hendry clear. It's just this match was good but not great. It was like in. It was a very, I guess, middle of the road kind of match. Like you've got two very good characters, and but beyond that, Joe Hendry isn't the strongest wrestler. He isn't, but he gets by a lot on how entertaining he can be, and he's always kind of been that way. Like but I suppose it almost right who he's facing. Like if you go and watch the match against Kurt Angle, that's a really good match, but it's against Kurt Angle. Like it just this match was just fine. Like the trick stuff. Again, I don't think Trick really got involved all that much. Which is good and bad. Especially against Freedom, it's almost guaranteed they're going to get involved and do something to make it memorable. And it just felt like they needed a thing to get Trick more involved in it. Like you mentioned it just let's bring this spot in so Trick can people remember that Trick was part of this match, or he was just a referee. I mean, I understand. I understand why they did it, but it also bothers me that Ethan Page again didn't really win clean. He's had 4 defenses and 1 clean once.
I'd say
that'll become a thing, I imagine.
I'd say this win was relatively clean compared to other.
Low blowed him.
Low blowed him.
Yeah,
it's clean.
It's clean. It's clean.
Shenanigans on both sides, bro.
Both sides. It was all on Ethan's
side. Yeah.
He did the whole pushing the ref thing. Like
Pete Dunne came out and put stuff up as well.
Oh yeah, little angry Pete Dunne's just everywhere at the moment, just being busy.
Yeah.
It was just fine. Like it. I mean, again, I'm sure you'll never see. I mentioned that on Emergence, Joe Hendry did fuck all in preparation for this match. Joe Hendry did fuck all in the tag team match on Emergence just for this match, and it was fine. It was just fine. I wasn't expecting an awful lot, but it's still, in my opinion, under-delivered.
Yeah.
I just knew it was so obvious what was going to happen. It was very predictable, and I don't like that in wrestling when do something that's not predictable, you know. But I get it. The logistics of it is a bit more difficult because you've got Joe Hendry, who's a TNA wrestler.
Yeah.
You can't have him win the title on this show because he can't have the title on TNA because the tapings have already happened. So then you've got Ethan Page. Like, can he lose this quick and to someone who's not signed for the company? Then you've got Trick Williams involved in it. Like, it's a whole thing. So it had to go this way because it was just it would make a whole thing out of it that didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
It was just fine. I didn't not enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. So it's like it shouldn't be the main event.
To your point, it was too predictable. So like it makes it hard to fully invest in the kind of the stakes and the drama of the actual wrestling match and thing. It's like we can have as many near falls as we want, but we all know where this is going. Whereas with the Jada and Roxy match, it could have gone either way. It felt legitimately, but like you said, with the TNA factor and all that, it was kind of a bit too obvious that Ethan was taking this. So that might have maybe removed a level of not enjoyment, but like on the edge of
the excitement.
You know,
goes, if the excitement isn't,
it just turns it down. Yeah.
Of course, it's like you say. I had Roxy winning no matter what. Like originally going into it, I was all the way thinking she's going to win that. It was like I said, it was that fact that Jada was pushing so hard that I was like, hang on, maybe, and I was immediately way more into the match, more so than I already was. But this didn't really have that. Even when there was moments of even when the shenanigans happened, it was like, this is formulaic.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But for a pay-per-view main event, a PLE main event, And like you say, for him to have held himself back from one company and really going for it in a match that could have used him potentially. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Was it necessarily?
It was this. So it's a shame. It's not the way you want to end a PLE, but it all in all made it. It was a service. It was serviceable for sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
They're not by any stretch of imagination. They're not terrible. They're all too talented for it to be terrible. Because, like you say, you might not be the world's greatest wrestler, but the man can, like you say, you can tell a story. Mad charisma. He can hold everyone like that. Ethan's the same, and they're both better than they were a year ago, in my opinion, as far as their wrestling pedigree and stuff like that. I think their caliber. Sorry, I think they clearly are, but yeah. But for the build up felt like they built up Joe Hendry for so long, and Ethan was always there, and punked Ethan a bunch of times. Like we said, he just made Ethan look like a bitch. Let's start making Ethan look like a champion who is someone who, even if he's a crafty champion, make him smart crafty. Make him
Stop making him sloppy.
Stop making him sloppy, hiding from being stupid, trying to get himself suspended and stuff like that. Make him more of a conniving villain,
like Swerve and people like that. When they're just like conniving and sinister, but smart.
He can still keep his, he can still do all that. He can be the big ego dickhead. Just don't be a dumbass.
Yeah. It's so contradictory as well. Like the way he's presented to what you actually see. It's like Hendry enters first in the match, and you see Ethan talking silly music. I'm gonna send him back to TNA where he belongs, and then the camera follows him through the entranceway. Goes around to show his face, and then Tron behind him. He looks really good there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets his position. He does the thing. He's under the light.
He knows what he's doing. He knows beats. Yeah.
I'm going to work right now. I know what I'm doing. He's there. It's just then you get mad shit like.
I don't know what the weird even AEW did it. It's like for some reason we cannot seem to cast Ethan Page in a serious light.
Yeah.
We have to make him a goofball, or we have to make him sloppy, or we have to make him a little bit of a joke, or whatever. We can't just because when he was doing his Ring of Honor stuff, it was great. He's coming out. He's having awesome matches. He was, his promos were getting way better. We were just getting Ethan, not all ego. We were getting Ethan Page, and then I don't know what it is. It seems to. I don't know if it's his decision or his character or whatever, but it always feels like Ethan Page, despite how great he actually is, always is presented with this air of don't take him that seriously.
Yes.
Which
That's more or less how I feel. Yeah.
And it's not like he can't play that character well, because he can. Like, we've seen it, but this is not what this is about. He's a champion. The only time I've seen Ethan Page be presented properly was in a tag team.
Yeah.
The North were serious. They're the longest reigning TNA World Tag Team Champions. They were taken seriously. But then he started going off in the Karate Man thing, which is his idea for the most part. Karate Man was his idea. But it just, you can get very silly, but this is your champion. Like I said last week, I think, is it still a grudge held by NXT? Like, is that it? Like, it just makes no sense otherwise.
Because we do. Is it because he's from elsewhere? It's not as in AEW. I mean, just like elsewhere.
He put the belt on him.
They put the belt on him, so they know his worth. But what I don't understand, it always feels like there's this level of
joke.
Like, he's a bit of a joke. We're not taking him that seriously, and it's been everywhere. So that's why I think, is it him or is it how people present him? It's just I don't know. But I love him. I think I'm a big Ethan fan.
Yeah, same.
So I have a bracelet here that says we had an agenda for getting him over to the UK when he was on the Indies. It says Ethan in the UK. We never got him. He went to NXT.
Yeah.
He did go. He was on the Indies for quite a while in the UK.
Very.
He came as the World Tag Team Champion. Came over.
Yeah,
North Face that was against any phone police, but at least I like that better.
I don't know. I feel like Ethan is the right guy at the right time, in that they needed a placeholder champion, and that happens. And that happens with Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Like it could have been anyone else, but it's just Ethan having to be the guy at the time. Was like, oh hey, you'll do.
Would have been Shawn.
It's I'm not sure. It's weird.
I don't know like that.
Like I don't know. It like Trick loses it in a fluky way. To Ethan as champion, he's been treated like a joke for the most part, and it just feels like he is just holding the title. He's keeping it warm for Trick again when Trick comes back after his feud with Pete Dunne. That's how it comes across.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty clear where it's going. It's predictable, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Because I've got a bad feeling that Ethan Page will be in the same boat as like a Shawn Spears once he's lost title.
Yeah. Where is Shawn?
He's on TV this week. I will say I did like at the very end as well, when Ethan wins, and he's just staring daggers at Trick. It's like, you've got to give me my title. You've got to hold my hand. You've got to raise my hand. Like
that's part of the Ethan Page that I love. He was like, you do this. Fuck you, man. Yeah. That's the shit I don't want to see.
Yeah.
Not the send me. It's the I'm going to do this to make you
to spite you,
and I'm better and raise my hand, bitch.
It'll be fine because on TV you can pin me again. It's fine. Like,
yeah. We're not. We're on a couple of days.
Yeah, it's fine.
You get the win.
Yeah, you'll pin me. It's fine. You'll pin me. Able to do the pin. 1, 2, 3.
I think, like I've said before, and I say regularly, apparently, hopeful. He's got so much.
It's gonna make that. I'm gonna get that made into a
I'm
t-shirt.
just hopeful.
Mike is just hopeful.
This is my stressed out hopeful for Ethan Page look, just like disheveled. Like he's gonna be okay, man. He's gonna be okay, right? He's gonna be okay.
He's gonna be fine if he gets to do the stuff that he was doing in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And if he stops trying to over characterize him and over polish him and produce him and all that, and then just let him kind of
be himself.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. But after that as well, Trick is attacked by Pete Dunne, so that sets up something for TV. It lays out a bit of end, and that ends the show. So we don't end the show on the world champion.
No.
We end it on Pete Dunne.
2 PLEs.
Julia stood at the top.
Yep.
Of the thing. Trademark. Show. Boom. That was a solid effort, guys. You know what? Nice pacing. It didn't peak and then just go down a hill at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just again, we don't get in with his. It's not the final shot again. It gets ruined by something again.
Yeah, exactly. 2 straight PLEs, and the champion isn't the last person we see on the show.
Interesting stuff. Interesting.
It's an interesting choice.
Like you say, placeholder champion, but you don't have to make it that obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't treat it that way.
Because that is the feeling.
Yeah.
For sure.
I genuinely hope Ethan Page just demolishes his next title defense. Just literally like bitches him out. I don't care who it is. Like just literally beat him in 10 seconds. Like dominant. Like just like.
Yeah, it's totally different. And then we'll go
running through people like open challenges. Come on, who's next? Kind of thing. Let's like you say, open challenges are always great for a title run.
They definitely.
Ethan and Femi, title with title.
The walking way.
Oh yeah. walking weapon.
Yeah.
You got a built-in feud right there. They never feuded in TNA. You've got it built in.
There
Yeah.
were just better ways to get around this, including swapping out the last 2 matches.
That's Rooney. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
That happens across the board in a lot of promotions. All In had it with Tony Storm and Thingy being on second for some reason.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I-
man.
On second, they
I-
one of the big feuds going into that entire PLE, and they were on number 2.
Of like a 13-match card.
I didn't watch AEW. I didn't watch All In, but I nearly bought it for that feud. Like I just
One of the matches of the night was fucking
Yeah,
brilliant.
it was. It was second. The entire show was fantastic. But yeah, as long as you know going into it, because I got to admit, when it said, "Oh, this is next," I spent the whole match being like,
Showing up.
"Why?
What's going
Why?" So I had to go back and watch it again, and actually, it is match of the night. One of the matches, it's banger. But yeah,
Yeah.
It's just that placement does make a difference to the overall
feel.
thing of the show.
Mm.
So if I was to look at this, if they just changed a couple of things, this would be a totally different pay-per-view in my memory, for sure. But now I am going to mostly remember it as the night that...
The layout was fine.
Yeah.
The layout was fine,
Yeah.
except the last 2 matches.
Yeah, just...
Swap them in
Yeah.
future, please. Have more faith in your women.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Julia was... That
Literally.
was huge.
Like Julia coming out being like, "Oh, nothing said." Title like standoff, fantastic visual. You know. Oh,
What's a way to
and
end
then
it?
and then cut to
It's
backstage of
full of
Ava.
great wrestling feuds.
Yeah.
And some of the greatest, like...
You're holding that
rivalries.
title up and everything. No, the whole thing. It's just a great
The
visual.
face-off is one of the best things about wrestling. It can be one of the most powerful things as far as like when you're telling that story later down the line,
Yeah.
showing that face-off and seeing that intensity and being able to capture that feeling in that moment is so cool. And just to have ended the show on it would have made everything better. But hey ho,
Yes.
I can change now. I can only be hopeful.
It's like, not in a year's time, are we going to remember that No Mercy finished on Pete Dunne and Trick Williams? Or are we going to remember that Julia showed up and went face to face with Roxanne Perez? Like, which one are we going to remember in a year's time? Like, that,
I genuinely think that's how it ended, because visually it's looked like in your mind as any wrestling fan, you'd be like, that's how it ended, because it's your kind of stereotypical ending.
Yeah.
So I think people at some point will think it ended that way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As they should, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that does bring an end to NXT No Mercy. We've got a bit of time still, so we can probably just go straight into TV as well, if you guys are down. So we move on to WWE NXT TV for the 3rd of September. This is the edition for the fallout of No Mercy. So what is new and what's being built to. And things kick off with a match. It's Trick Williams and Pete Dunne. Well, not yet. Trick calls out Pete to get the match started, but out comes Ethan Page instead. Ethan battles crowd chants, chanting the Hendry song at him, and Ethan is talking among the chants. He's still cutting his promo. He mocks Trick for only defending the NXT title once. Trick says that he still has his eyes on NXT Championship, but for now he's got unfinished business. And then we get an NXT on a CW promo from Ethan, and then Pete Dunne attempts to sneak attack Trick, and the fight is broken up by security and referees.
Pretty chaotic beginning.
Good. Definitely set the tone for the show.
Yeah.
And I know last week I said, and it was pretty brilliant, the fact that immediately after you'd recorded, you sent me a message saying, pretty cut and dry NXT. He proceeds to talk about it for 4 hours. This week's show felt like it had a lot more urgency than last week's.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's good things to...
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get more into it, but I imagine we might have some different opinions on this, on some of this stuff. So, after the initial opening thing, we go backstage. It's the boys, Hank and Tank! Yeah! They're ready to win the tag titles. They're ready for the tag title contention match. They hit first and they hit last. Honk, honk.
I love them.
In come Gallus though to start some stuff, and then Nikki broke up by referees as well. So we get another fight after a fight. That's broken up by referees.
We're just throwing hands.
Yeah.
It's just
everywhere.
the whole
There's
of it
hands being thrown.
right now.
Who needs the ring?
Who needs the ring?
Just fight
Exactly.
backstage.
In the exact same camera shot, we see Jada Parker, who's just coming in. She's been confronted by Fatal Influence, who mock her for losing to Roxanne at No Mercy. Jada replies that she's not some clout chaser like Jasmine. Jasmine takes offense, and we probably got a match for later on tonight.
Yep.
Did she also say, like, did she react to Gallus in that fight, and she was like, "That's why I told my boys to like stay out of it," kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or something.
Stay out.
It's like you told them not to go for
The tag
the
titles.
title. So, like, I don't think that came across. Like,
It was just a nice way to try and explain them away, because where are they?
yeah.
So after this, we go into the official first match of the night for the NXT Tag Team Titles #1 contendership. The Rascals, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, taking on Gallus, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, taking on Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. Let's go, boys. Hank and Tank. Let's do this. Let's go. Unfortunately, the Rascals win after interference from Joe Coffey and the Good Brothers, which cost Hank and Tank. 3 stars I rated this. It was a run-the-mill triple threat tag team match that never really got much of anything going. It wasn't bad by any stretch, but it just kind of felt like a foregone conclusion. I did sort of check out this one because I just knew that my boys weren't winning this. I did rewatch it, but again, I came to the same conclusion. It wasn't really much of anything because it was a clear conclusion of who's going to win here.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be Hank and Tank. That's all I knew.
Believe in Hank and Tank, Mike.
No. Oh, dude, I am hopeful. I am so hopeful. I have theories on that, but I thought this was actually. I actually enjoyed the match quite a bit. I thought it was a decent showcase for Hank and Tank as being like they've been taking on guys week after week after week, and now they're a threat and they're in the mix with all the other guys who are big threats. They've done that work now, so now we build them because, like you say, I want them to have the belts. If it wasn't so long until the Dusty Cup, they'd be winning the next Dusty Cup for sure. But it's in February, and I think there's probably enough time for them to get the belts potentially in that time because they are over like Rover. And,
They built them so well.
They built them so well that the bond that they have. Obviously, I'm assuming it's like that behind the scenes and like just go and do that on telly and we'll be right. And they have and they're right, as it turns out. So yeah, and having the Rascals win, I like it. I'm going to defer to Craig on that one, though, because I think he has some comments potentially on his boys taking the dub.
He might do, but it's fine. It's not important. We'll move on. So we go back.
Honestly, it's just bitterness, isn't it? Like, because there's only 3 letters in wrestling that are on top. T.
D.
N.
P.
Yeah. Rascals on top, and that's what I'm here for. Like, it's mad because less than 6 months ago, the Rascals were heels. Like, they were full on heels, jumping everyone, winning tag titles, but heels nonetheless. And now they're about to win the NXT Tag Team Championship and bring them back to TNA. Even though we haven't got many tag teams, but move on from that. Yeah, I wanted them to. I didn't think we were actually going to have them win until I saw on social media that they won. before I got a chance to watch it, which is fine. Like, not that invested, but it's very cool because I have a really good feeling about this. Other times when other people from other companies have got title matches, I've never fully believed it. I've got way more hope for this one. I've just love the Rascals. They are, they're just fantastic, and for them to do this is huge. And seeing Trey back is awesome. So I've got no real complaints here. The match I really enjoyed the match. The only thing that did annoy me was the interference, because it kind of like, why? It just really bugged me that, of course, Joe Coffey wears Stone Island. Of course he does. Of course. But Bill doesn't get involved, and then he won. I enjoyed the match, and the Rascals are about to win the NXT Tag Team Championships.
Tag.
I've got
moment.
It's gotta come, mate. It's gotta happen.
I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was fun. I love tag team wrestling, so I will always enjoy tag team matches, especially when you've got people like the Rascals in there who just throw themselves, the speed, everything. Hank and Tank, they're a lot of fun. I love their chemistry, seeing their little journey to becoming a tag team. I think that this match might have solidified them more so as these are a legitimate team. And they're not fucking around, and they might be like having a few laughs here and there, but when they're in the ring they want to prove something. That's what they're trying to do. So I'm enjoying that. I'm really excited to see that, and I'm hoping that we see them with the gold at some point as well, and that'd just be a really nice, because that's another one of those moments when we say it makes watching NXT worth it as a developmental. When you see someone like Hank, we saw him come in as wasn't he a security guard who called someone a prick, big bloody hobby, and then to see his growth from just random security guard to Hank, now Hank and Tank, and now this whole thing. It's been really fun, and that's the payoff when they finally get gold.
They would definitely have to be the gruesome twosome.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
It's this whole idea that you can come from nothing and become a champion in a few months. Like, remember last week those two goons of Tony D'Angelo? Like, those two goons might become tag champions soon.
Who were those guys? Where have they gone?
I don't know who they are. I was asking this last week. I still don't know who they are.
Aren't they sometimes in the background when they're at the restaurant? I've seen them. I just think they're meant to be other family members.
In the beginning, no one knows.
They're just random security guards from the local coffee shop that they've just brought in. They don't wrestle.
One of them seems familiar. I don't know where from. It's driving me a bit mental. From honest.
One of them reminds me of Q from the Impractical Jokers. If you ever watched the I know you don't. I like Brian.
So yeah,
Who lives alone has two.
Hello?
What? What?
I didn't hear what you said, Craig.
It's a thing from Practical Jokers. Says 32 lives alone has two cats.
There we go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So after this, we had a backstage interview with the not so fractured Fraxium. They celebrate winning the tag titles at No Mercy. They're then cut off by the Rascals, who congratulate them and tell them to not get it twisted because they'll win the tag titles next week and take the belts back to TNA with them. This popped Craig. Fraxium.
Yow.
Fraxium disagree, and then we get into a discussion about tag partners, tag partner monogamy, and if Zach truly thinks a change in tag partner will help him. Zach claims that at least the Russells are on the same page. Can Fraxium claim that? Axiom, in disbelief, says yes, we can, yes.
And Trey and Wentz did the one thing that Wentz and Wes couldn't do. So yeah, I'm backing them against a team who keep kicking each other in the face.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
I mean, I'm backing the one team in this feud that deserves her titles more. And Hank and Tank.
I'm gonna make such a naff Hank and Tank shirt so when I'm next it's so bad. Ripped shirts like sleeves like Mac from It's Always Sunny on it.
Yeah.
You need to go back and watch that promo between the two of them. Because Nick pointed it out to me, and then, oh my god, could be nuts. Nathan Frazier looked high as balls all the way through that.
I didn't want to
He was
mention
like,
that, but yes.
His eyes
Absolutely mashed.
His allergies were playing up, but I think
Of
he's been
course,
hanging out with the Rascals.
I think and also he has the most English way of saying amigo. Fraser does.
Amigo.
He's like,
Fraser's been to the treehouse. Pass it on.
Definitely.
maybe.
And you couldn't tell that. That mask, he's just like.
As long as it ain't like a certain other person who's on Raw who forgot his lines.
Yeah.
You know?
I was just flippant.
It benefited him.
It like again, it was, but at the time as well, you just wanted anything that didn't feel overproduced.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it got overproduced.
So yeah, after this,
But like
Trick Williams is due an interview in the locker room, but Pete Dunne rushes the locker room and they go for it and they have a fight again, which is then broken up. So cool. The next part of the show popped Mike because it's time for some lectural healing. It's time for the Lexus King match. And he takes on Oro Mensah. Lexus wins after Lexus wins after rolling up Oro and putting his feet on the ropes for the free. I rated this 2 stars.
yeah,
it once again proved that his in-ring work at NXT needs work, or at least needs more effort. I don't know what it is. This was ultimately a nothing match that sort of meant nothing. And as a result of that, the match fell flat with a seemingly out of nowhere BS finish as well. It was like it wasn't even set up for it. It just sort of happened. Like,
I think Oro might have caught Lexus legit when he was in the corner because there was one shot and then he dropped and put his legs on the rope so slowly.
Right.
I'm not saying it was an audible. I think that was supposed to be the dirty win. I think it was supposed to end that way.
It was a bit clunky.
But for me, this was more of a thing for Mensah, whereas it should have been a thing that it could have been. It could have been one of those potential avenues to embrace the whole father thing for Lexus. But when he got in his face and the corner was like, "He got banned. He should have been." I was like, "This is something different. At least this isn't." This is like a legit weird thing, but one of the few times when he's like kind of like in his acting in his presentation where I was like, I'm not believing that. That's weird. This feels weird. This feels almost left field, being that deep in on it. But I liked seeing Aura go that hard.
Yeah.
Aura's been really great. He's been really brutal lately. And
yeah.
It's really great to see his work lately. But
yeah, I was hoping for more of a platform to push them both. But if this becomes just a platform to push Oro, I'm fine with it because, like I say, when you started throwing some of those shots, I was like, oh yeah, give him a hoss fight or something. Put him on Bloodsport. I don't know. Give him onto the Gallus. I got to see a fire in someone tonight on this show that I didn't get to see necessarily previously, or I feel like it's been coming, which is nice. And again, that's why we love NXT, because every week at some point there's something that makes you go, "There's new, unlocked. That's cool. I like it. Keep it going, please. Keep it going." But yeah, overall, I think I gave it a 3. Because I didn't hate the match and it did something for me with Oro. And again, Alexis, I am hopeful.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah, to me, this match was fine. Like, I mean, you could have gone with the finish of Aura getting DQ'd. If you wanted to go with a screwy finish, that's the one. Like,
Yeah.
the dirty pin, like, was just kind of pointless. Have Aura get DQ'd, at least that gives it a little more something. Like,
He's a reason to call it back next week. He pushed me to the brink and I got too angry. Give me a second chance.
yeah.
Which makes
the screwy finish is like, if you're gonna do it, don't just have the heel put the foot on the ropes. Especially because the ref saw it as well. The ref obviously saw it. Like,
That's why I thought maybe he got caught, because it felt really clunky. And he can do roll ups and put his feet up. He doesn't need it. It was really slow and really clunky. Really.
Were we still in Denver?
No, we're back in the.
We're back in the PC here, aren't we? So it's not even an elevation thing.
But you're right. It shouldn't have been that. I thought it was going to go down that route. When he was pushing back and Oro was pushing against the referee, it felt like it was going to go down that route. Oro's going to pop up and do something stupid here.
yeah.
But then you got a bit more of the same, and it's a crafty finish. Yeah, pussied out.
Pussied out.
Take the DQ. Don't let the ref take the DQ and just. At least then you're a bit more, like, you've shown a different side of yourself.
Become a manipulator.
Yeah.
You've been able to manipulate someone into disqualifying themselves. And Oro's shown an aggression that can get him into trouble.
He's a hothead in a way.
Yeah. He's very, you push his buttons and you'll go off. That would have been much more appealing moving forward from here for me.
I don't know. I think that this was a good opportunity to progress on Lexus King. I think there's an opportunity to lean more into his father's side. Like, obviously, there's still a lot of time for this. There's still tons of time for this. Yeah. But last week, having Oro mention the no father thing, having us react specifically to that line.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
that was why he went so deep in on him in the corner, wasn't it? Like, because it's like, your father really fucking hates dads.
Like Christian oh my.
Guys, no,
he's the stepdad.
Get him a turtleneck.
Christian Cage's dad. And he's the stepdad.
He's the dino son and the turtleneck.
Give him to his own faction. Give him his own turtleneck. Like his faction will be his sons, his stepsons.
All these dinosaurs are actually just the dinosaurs from the cartoon, the dinosaurs. So.
We just need someone to be like a foster dad now, and I think we'll have it all nicely covered.
Yeah, good one.
Did Apollo Crews have like a cartoon bird or something with him?
A what? A cartoon? What?
Did Apollo Crews have a cartoon bird or something like that? There was someone, wasn't there, in NXT who had a cartoon bird? After this, we go backstage with family. Femi steps into the family's locker room. He makes a comment aimed at Adriana Rizzo, saying how someone like her shouldn't be.
Yeah. He said in my culture, or in some cultures, women are should be seen.
Should be seen, not heard. Yeah.
And he didn't put him on his arm.
Oh, he was very much.
Well, no, she wanted to. She wanted to, but Tony stopped her. Like,
I was like, "Go on, Rizzo. Go on."
So who steps up to the plate? It's Stax. Stax will be facing over tonight, and not Rizzo, unfortunately.
Lucy wanted it first.
Yeah, he did.
Lucy wanted it first.
Lucy was feeling all pumped up about it. He was feeling kind of way.
But the Don.
The Don didn't want to get involved in this. The Don didn't want it. The Don felt it firsthand, over and didn't want it again.
Don's got his suspicious face on.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Don thinks there's something going on.
I don't think he really trusts.
He doesn't trust Lucy.
Mm.
Poor
And
Lucy.
I think sorry?
Poor Lucy.
Poor Lucy.
Oh, Lucy, indeed. Plus, Staxy just got pushed into like a batch of like.
Yeah, he's just been thrown under a
That
bus.
sounds like a great idea.
It's got an Oberfemi type.
Put that on a shirt.
I've got an over semi.
Sorry.
T-shirt.
Oh.
Sized bus that you got your own under.
That's what you said. Oh, that's brilliant.
Got an Oberfemi.
Well done, you're too pure.
That is a clip for the future. Oh.
Oh, he fell down inside the cow.
Aw.
Sydney, brother.
We're going. Yeah, so after this, we go backstage again. So we remain backstage. Gallus are here, and they're pissed off at Javon Evans because Javon got involved in the tag thing at the start, which I forgot to mention, and I forgot happened until I remember notes just now. So they settle on taking care of Javon Evans tonight, but in comes the Ren QCC to ask the guys to keep the noise down. Which is it's a fair complaint. They're very shouty, Gallus.
Boys.
If you can understand it.
I thought it was great. That was great.
Rain's brilliant.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's a breath of fresh air, I think.
Yeah. So Gallus issue a threat to the NQCC, declaring their interest in the Heritage Cup. And Deity takes Ren to one side and advises them to calm down and stop volunteering Charlie for stuff.
If Ren's is giving away Heritage Cup matches, how about the person who actually beat Charlie Dempsey 1, 2, 3 on TNA? Jonathan Gresham. Gresham and Dempsey for the Heritage Cup. The Heritage Cup Rules would be a banger.
Yeah.
PLE match right there.
Yeah, it is.
All the way. Halloween Havoc.
Gresham beat him clean,
Yeah.
and then they
But
pull for a little bit and
can
stuff
he do
it
it
off.
in a 6th round of 3-minute matches?
He's Jonathan Gresham.
So yeah, after this, we got the next match of the night. It's Tatum Paxley and Rosemary. It's another appearance of Rosemary here, and she's avenging Wendy Chu, I guess. So Tatum wins with a peculiar move and pin combination. I don't know what it's called, or even what the wrestling word is for it.
Great move.
It's like it's like a I don't know. How do you describe it really? It's
like a weird spinning.
It reminds
Like
me of
DVD.
it reminds me of like Evil Uno's finisher a little bit.
It's a really like it's not where she gets. Oh, God damn it! It just she moves the body in fun ways.
It's called the Psycho Trap, isn't it?
Psycho Trap.
Thank you. Yeah, Psycho Trap.
It kind of looks like a DVD, but not. It's just a flippy one, like a destroyer DVD.
Yeah.
It's got a destroyer vibe as well. Yeah. It's interesting. I like it, but
yeah, no. So again, I rated this 2 stars. It was too short to get anything going. It was a very short match. And that's really all I had for this. It's cool Tatum's back. But at the moment, there's just not much there because they're not getting enough time.
It suffered for the lack of time, especially when you've got Rosemary, veteran Spooky Bish, with 2 young pup Spooky Bishes, who you've got the 3 of them in the ring on television.
Give them time.
Like you saying, Wendy Chu was showing more face and stuff like that at No Mercy, right? Maybe she's started taking some stuff and she's like learning from someone who's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And have them both. We said this last week. To have her there to do that is really cool. To have both Tatum and Wendy in the ring at the same time. Wendy was on the ring side, but for Rosemary to work with them both on a developmental show, match wasn't like you say, it didn't get enough time to go as hard as it possibly could do. But because of that, like, element of, I love to see, like, when you see there's a clear, like, that they have a chance to learn. I like it a lot. So it made it a lot better for me. But yeah, it suffers for the amount of time that it got.
Yeah.
I
really.
Okay.
No, I enjoyed the match, but yeah, it suffered for its lack of time. I feel like Tatum got quite a strong little showing in the time that they had. I'm being hopeful that actually this is going to lead to something a little bit more, with a bit more length and a bit juicier. I feel like I actually felt like they had really great chemistry, and I would like to see another match between the two of them, if I'm honest, with more time. Yeah, so I agree with you rating on that one.
I think, and again, to Mike, I'm hopeful that this is going to the Undead Realm. It's kind of perfect for this. The Undead Realm is, you've got all kinds of stuff that's happened there in the past, and the Undead Realm's always been really good, but the budget's never fully been there. Now you've got the WWE budget, you can do a whole lot more with this. Like, take this to the Undead Realm. I don't know what they don't necessarily do there, but in effect, you don't really have a match in the Undead Realm in the first place. Like, you have murders, plenty of murders, but it's just, this is where this could go. You've got Halloween Havoc coming up, and you've got 3 spooky wrestlers. Like, it's surely you've got, and you now have TNA licensing to take it to something trademarked. Like, you can go to the Undead Realm. Also, it made a chuckle because I wonder why they didn't do it, but on TNA Weekly, Rosemary comes out with a meat cleaver in a bag, and I wonder why they didn't do it on NXT TV. Maybe because it's on proper TV.
Maybe.
Yeah. They've got restrictions, haven't they?
It just made me laugh.
So,
meat cleaver.
NXT going to Netflix with them? NXT, all of it's going to Netflix.
It's just Raw.
That's a shame. I was going to say, if they go to Netflix, then you never know. She might be able to come out with it, but
I mean, the CW is edgier content, at least, so we might see some more edgier stuff. So we might see, like, actual weapons and stuff being carried to the ring, like, a la, Terry Funk and the chainsaw. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so post-match, Tatum gets attacked by Rosemary and Wendy Chu for Lyra Valkyria to make the save. She's back, they reunited, they embrace in the ring, and Tatum jumps into Lyra's arms.
Oh, it made me so happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So happy.
Like,
No, I wanted it.
Yeah.
And then she was there, I was like,
They left it on, like, awkward terms as well. Like, it was like Tatum's getting too close to Lyra. Lyra's getting really uncomfortable about all this. And then they sort of just left it because Lyra went to main roster.
yeah,
she fled and then
I think she kind of,
elsewhere to Kalani, didn't she?
She got lucky with that one. She kind of pulled the thing. But yeah, I did say to Nikki before, it's like, oh, sweet. So now we can see Lyra Valkyria, who knows, what is it? She can push her friend who definitely gets too close to get too close, and then query her about why she's getting too close.
Yeah, she's gonna get uncomfortable again.
Yeah.
Tatum's very cool.
But that was fun to see and just lovely.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it at all.
No.
I wanted it, but I was immediately happier.
Yeah. It was a lovely moment.
I think
really great.
It's nice because I think we've all sort of like pseudo adopted Tatum as our daughter, and it's nice to see her have a friend. Like.
I just want to see it. She just wants people to play dolls with.
Yeah.
I get it. It's fine. So yeah, it was nice to see.
Yeah. So yeah, after this we go backstage to a Pete Dunne interview that goes astray as Trick Williams attacks him. This is broken up. And Ava's there. along with Stevie Turner and Mr. Stone, who have finally come back to TV, and tells them to get to the ring to sort their shit out.
She just would not mess it around.
No. Like, you know what? You two want to fight? Go to the ring now.
Makes sense. It's like you're just taking up segments.
Management.
Like,
Excellent management. They're too much of a disruption. Let's get it out of the way and get him out of the venue.
absolutely. It's like we had to give away 3 segments to you guys that we could have given to someone else.
Yeah.
Like Hank and Tank, where are they?
They're waiting patiently. Strike.
Even Page appears from nowhere, from behind, and comments on Ava losing control of the roster.
Don't start making that a thing.
No.
Don't go down this route. Don't question Ava, Ethan. It's a fucking dumb thing to do. You know who her dad is? You know who her dad is.
We've seen what happens with people who just question her.
I'm just saying, if Ethan continues this and we get The Rock on NXT, you know, The Rock and Ethan Page, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I would love to see The Rock come down to NXT and give it the Rock rub. Like, you know, Ava's done really well to separate herself from her dad to the point, like, you know, unless you knew, you wouldn't necessarily know.
No.
I know, and I think that she's done that intentionally. So I think if he was to do that, I feel like it would kind of undo a lot of the work that she's done, and people would immediately go back to the, oh, you're only doing this because your dad, when that's...
I don't know. I feel like she'd be able to shut that down in a way that makes her look infinitely more badass.
I hope.
That's what she's been doing. Every time someone's tried a Lexus and stuff like that, every time he's tried something, someone's tried something, she's got a very cool way of saying fuck you, basically, every single time in different ways. So it's just the you're losing control of your brand thing. It definitely had that vibe tonight. When we first came into it, it was one of those vibes. It was back when Willie Regal was in charge and Undisputed, fighting everybody, and the whole backstage was constant chaos leading to the War Games. And it's good, it's fine, but it needs to lead to something if we're going to go down that. And this was the first time in a while, like I say, this had more urgency, this episode. There's seems like some blood feuds happening.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ava's beast.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Craig, any thoughts?
Just badass management.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
But she's losing control of her brand.
She's not.
That's what I don't want to see. It's like Ethan. Oh,
Undermine.
I mean, making pretty heelish if you make Ethan champ and GM.
I wouldn't mind that.
That's the story.
Yeah.
That's the story. He could play that character, that big dickhead character right there.
You know what?
Cut angle.
I ain't defending my title tonight. I'm a GM. You know, I ain't gonna defend it.
Decided.
I'll show to run.
So yeah, after this, we get something that pops Craig again. We get an Instagram story from Jordan Grace, who reveals that she'll be defending the Knockouts Championship on NXT in an open challenge next week.
Nice.
The Knockouts World Championship. And I'm pretty sure after what happened on TNA this week, I know who it's going to be. Because if you didn't see it, after Jordan Grace as you know challenge on TNA this week and was accepted by Carmen Petrovic, well, she was introduced by Ariana Grace, who's now the liaison between NXT and TNA. And after the match, Rosemary was watching the entire match from the balcony. After the match, lights went down. Jordan Grace, let's come back up. Jordan Grace is on her back, and there's a pillow next to her. So it's probably going to be Wendy Chu. I'm hoping it's more to do with the fact that Wendy Chu's going to be on TNA, because Knockouts Tag Division needs tag teams, and Rose and Wendy Chu are perfect for this. But I'm assuming it's going to be on NXT this week or next week. Wendy Chu, accepted the challenge. Although everyone's speculating it's Natalia, which I doubt.
I mean,
Not yet.
that also makes sense because of who challenged Jordan on TNA, and Carmen and Natalia have that connection.
No,
Yeah, I want that Bound for Glory. I don't want it on a random episode of NXT.
Yeah.
That's a Bound for Glory match.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that'll be happening next week. Moving on to something this week though, it is a special night. It's Pete Dunne and Trick Williams officially having their match, and the match ends in double count out. Yeah. As both men fall through the announce table.
Oh yeah,
Sweets went everywhere.
big sweet.
Big
Poor
sweets.
Vic Joseph.
All the time it goes where.
Like, it's the homage to Jim Ross, because that was the whole thing with JR, wasn't it? That his sweet jar, and his candies would go everywhere. And I feel like Vic is just a little nod to it.
Like, he's got one hand if he I
In that little box.
or after like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, I don't know, because I know American sweets aren't as sweet as ours.
No, they're not.
Like, it's not as many of them, but still, that's a lot to go through in one show.
So he keeps his energy, at least. We know that's where it's coming from, because he's like up here for the majority. He's like back on all the time.
Always the natural high of being next to Booker T.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah. That was banging. Sorry.
It was a little bit of peanut butter.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. Let's cut that.
Never does.
But no, the match itself, I rated it 3 stars. It was surprisingly underwhelming for me. A match where both guys seemingly wanted to rip the other's head off. I don't know what it was. I didn't get the intensity from these two that I was getting in all the fights beforehand.
Why did they take it to the ring? I guess like obviously they're having a last. Well, you'll say in a bit, but it's Why take it to the ring, and also why put a break in between, and why break up that momentum? It broke the flow, and it's such a you felt it.
It needed a stipulation for it. So you could have had them fight there and then backstage. It's a street fight. A Force Count Anywhere match. It starts here right now. Get a referee. Start it here.
Yeah, he's clearly at a point where you can't behave like professionally. So how is anyone going to assume that you're going to be able to go and do a match with the regular rules?
They did set that up.
That's what I mean. I would have just literally have been like, get your asses down to that ring. No DQ, because you're clearly not going to be able to show restraint. Get it out your systems and stop doing all of this. So, like, they're that worked up that you can't keep them, like, on the straight and narrow backstage. You've got to send them straight to the ring because they're that. And then when you actually get in the ring, they're all like, okay, and now we'll follow the rules and we'll behave ourselves until we get, start doing things like...
Suddenly you care about count to 10.
Yeah, whereas I would have just preferred it if it had been just this, send a referee down, and the only way anyone's going to win is by a pin or knockout submission or whatever, because you're both too riled up.
Yeah.
Did you read the show this week on the network, on the description of what happened on the show? Like, it literally said Pete Dunne and Chuck Williams brawl all over the performance center. So naturally, I should watch the Force Count Anywhere match, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's basically what their actual like big match is probably going to be, something like that, isn't it? I imagine.
Well, I mean, they technically did kind of. I mean, they collided in the locker room. They collided in some weird corridor backstage, and then they had it in the ring.
It's broken up in seconds because security are just everywhere apparently.
Yeah.
Like, they've got security and protection.
They want to watch this. It's just like, watch these two all the time.
Keep them apart. Like, do what Victor and keep them up opposite sides of the building. This match was fine. Like, I can't believe the crowd were trying to bullshit at the double count out there. Like, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't bullshit, but it felt almost like a bit of an anti-climax. I don't
Yeah.
know why. Like you said, I don't know why. We felt very like, and we're done. Whereas I felt I wanted more. I wanted more.
If the match was better, it would have.
Like, I said they're booing the ref. Like, he's doing his job. He's counting them.
Yeah.
The whole point of booing the ref. Like, what don't they say about the ref? They're insulting the ref, essentially. Like,
Yeah.
it's plans, man. Plans.
Free is a decision.
I'm telling you, it's that point that Nikki said earlier, like getting the personnel to cut promos, and this referee, like, you know what? I heard enough of you, crowd.
I'm taking shit out into the crowd.
Take his earpiece out, puts it on the ground in the middle of the ground.
He's going rogue. Flicks his earpiece out, and the gorilla were like, he's
cover it in the ref shirt, and wait to do a compliment with the flag, like.
Come on then.
Yeah.
No sells a ref bump. Like instead of doing what angel referee, like, oh yeah, he just jumps back up and goes. Like,
I'm not a ref.
Ref, you suck. Ref, you suck. He's doing his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we move on from that to a vignette. It is the bastard Ridge Holland. He is in the Chase U classroom. He's talking about his actions at No Mercy. And the reason why he did it is because they couldn't keep the tag titles. He finally became a champion, but he lost it due to mediocrity. We're finally going to get to see the Ridge Holland that he tried so hard to fight. And that begins next week with the destruction of Chase U. He also sends Thea Hale a message saying he's going to love every second of it. And then he also grabs Duke Hudson's MVP trophy and destroys it.
Just rude, isn't it?
Red, you piece of shit. How dare you?
Ain't for Thea, man.
How dare you? You didn't earn that. You didn't win that. You're not the MVP of Chase U. How dare you?
Yeah.
How very dare you? Nah.
Yeah. I enjoyed this. It's a small vignette, but it explained his actions, and it did a good enough job just to confirm what most of us have probably already thought was the reason for this. And the personal message to Thea Hale, because that's obviously the one who probably had the best connection with him in Chase U. Just calling her out specifically, saying
that was bastard moves.
Yeah.
That was good bastard moves. Very, very good bastard moves, but it was bastard moves. Fuck you for that, sir. He's loved it.
Yeah. It's like someone copy it. Just don't leave Thea alone.
It's
mine.
unfortunately, for sure. Duke and Ridge are going to have a good house fight.
yeah.
And Thea comes in and just jumps up and chokes.
I love it. If he chokes him out.
Break his arm.
Yeah.
Break his face like you JC. Break JC.
Yeah.
Break his face like you with JC. Like,
And then Riley comes in. They're basically assaulting Ridge by this point, and everyone's kind of like feeling really awkward. And then Chase comes out, and it's the night school.
He's accompanied by Wendy, Chu, and Rosemary.
They're all there. Everyone's getting pulled into the undead realm. Everyone's getting it.
Oh.
And then James just popping up for some reason. Love James Mitchell.
So yeah, after this, backstage we are. Brooks Jensen is walking around when he's approached by Sean Spears. Sean is appreciative for his support when it came to Edris and Malik. Brooks asks him, why are people saying that Sean is manipulating him? And Sean avoids the question, like a manipulator. Anyway, I want to do one by this. But in the background, Dylan had to see me in the book, so that more than made up for it.
Yeah, I think I understand.
He's literally in the background reading the book while this is going on.
Being nosy as well.
Yeah, so
Listening to his conversation.
he's listening to the conversation. He tells Brooks that Sean is gaslighting him.
I think this is just more. We've seen this story before elsewhere in NXT. It's going through the motions, and it's there's so much happening everywhere else that I'm fine with not getting answers on certain things necessarily quickly or knowing exactly where it's going to go, because I know they're going to get eventually. They are going to get there, and
yeah.
So you don't want to overbook a show, especially a weekly TV show. Next week they get a 2-minute, 3-minute segment, and somebody else gets the 30 seconds. You can take it in turns. So it was just fine. It was just filler, fine.
Yeah.
Bit more of showing that they're still interacting, and also shows that Brooks is willing to ask questions. And
He's not blindly following.
He's not blind. Yeah, he's not just like, because he's going to do something. I hope he does anyway. I hope he swerves the norm. Exactly.
I don't remember the segment left that much of an impression.
That's fair. Honestly, it wasn't much of anything.
This is probably the first maybe 3 or 4 of this type of segment.
Yeah.
At different lengths and variation, and with something new each time, or a different other person for Brooks to eventually fight.
Yeah.
Probably.
I
think this is going to be
also
for a while.
like confirmed. I think when Nikki said earlier that she could Sean Spears be on this show. So
I just feel like Sean Spears needs to have a little bit more of a I don't know, where is he? What's he doing?
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah, he's worth so much more. There was so much hype, and yeah, you're right. You're both right.
It's more,
right.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like
he's
to think
he's a veteran. He has so many years.
Yeah.
So many amazing matches as well.
I don't understand what they're trying. Is he going into the manager role? He was playing.
If he's legit hurt, then it's more like he's just going to be that for a while. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. That's what I was wondering. Is he injured? Are they putting him into a manager role? Is he doing like a long-term story here? If he's injured, then it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we just go and hit people with chairs again. Right? You got the option.
Be the chairman.
Chair dance.
I love it. I love that.
I like the chair.
And the sideways tile on the head, I think it's cool as shit.
Yeah.
And what
I
then
hope
he,
for it.
Then he hit Cody, and then that ruined his entire run.
Yeah.
He hit Cody with a gimmick chair in an ungimmicked way that caused Cody to bleed. And then that it completely, sidetracked his run in AEW. It's a shame, but
I
can't remember.
he had a small feud with Cody as well when Cody came back, but other than that,
well, hopefully when he's all sorted, we'll get to kind of see. But yeah, I hope to see more.
Be hopeful.
You could say being hopeful. You see this wanting Sean Spears to do better. It's very mindful, very demure, very hopeful.
Y'all can stay mindful and demure. I'm hopeful.
So yeah, after this we had the next match of the night. We had Joe Coffey and Javon Evans. Javon wins with a springboard. There we go. Springboard spinning splash. I rated this 2 stars. It was a 2.5 minute match.
It was
really
fast, wasn't it?
short. Really short.
This was worth it. Yeah,
I would rate it higher if it had more time. I physically can't rate it higher than that because there wasn't enough content.
I'd just forgotten, to be honest, because we rewatched the highlights before just to give ourselves a bit of a refresher.
Yeah.
The YouTube highlights, and then I realised when I was watching it, they barely cut anything out of this.
It's just the match. Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, was it a platform to show that?
It's to show how Javon is bouncy.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know what else it's there for.
Cedric came out.
Yeah, Uncle Ceddy, he was there. So we're probably gonna get some sort of tag match between Gallus and Uncle and Nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Javon showed more aggression in his character, which is good. Because always he's a smiley, happy to be there guy, but now he's actually okay, I want to fight you.
Yeah.
Also, Javon, please stop jumping onto the announce table. You just have 2 broken ribs. Stop it, Javon. Go the other way.
Be careful.
Like, just broken your ribs. Learn from your mistakes.
He's young. He doesn't need to think about that until
he's like 20,
early
right? Or 19 or something.
He's a baby, and he'll wake up when he's 29 and be like, oh, you know, the consequences.
Why did I do all that in my younger years?
Dive the other side onto the ramp, and you've got more room to go. Like, you can jump further. Like, it's the announce table. It's not gimmicked for you yet.
It's not giving very well. Fell apart when someone was gently placed on it.
It frustrates me because last time that happened, I said, Javon, stop doing that. You're going to hurt yourself. He broke his ribs.
He didn't listen. He didn't pay any attention to you.
Javon needs to
And
watch
that's
the
how he
podcast.
learns.
That's the issue. He needs to watch the podcast.
Get that out and send it to him. Seriously, or I will. Like, he needs to stop it. You've got 4 sides to choose from. I choose one on the table.
Yeah.
No, again, Javon's always a pleasure to see. It was a fun, quick match, but yeah, it would have been better if it had more time.
Yeah.
More.
Can we please stop the weird AR graphics for Javon? Like, you had
say speak about the AR graphics.
It's like
as well, yeah.
Gallus came out, they're in the ring, and suddenly, it's Javon Evans because he's just like this weird splash screen of just graphics.
They're so gross. They're so ugly. They don't work. Xia Li had the coolest one for a second.
Yeah.
That was neat, and then bye Xia.
Yeah. Is the worst.
She cost too much money for the graphics. That's why I got rid of it.
And now Xia Li's coming to TNA, so
yeah.
Actually, brilliant. I'm glad
traffic this week, a video this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Zia Zhao, something
Poppy
like that,
show. Yeah. Yeah.
Because she's legit, so I'm happy. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cannot wait. Xia Li, Johnny Grace, give it to me now.
That'll slap hard.
So yeah, after this, we go into a backstage interview with Ava. Ava announces that next week it'll be a last man standing match between Pete Dunne and Trick Williams. Finally, a fucking stipulation that actually works for this. And the winner will face Ethan Page at the NXT CW show on October 1st. Cool, I guess. I reckon it'll end in a draw. Personally, I don't think it's a winner.
It'll end up being
And then both of them will face Ethan.
That's one standing in it. Last one standing in it.
Mm-hmm.
Last one standing, so probably,
Just both
someone will get involved.
Both are cards of the count now, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when Paige after this No Mercy, Don was looking at Paige, and Paige told him to deal with your own business. I think there could be something leaving in there. Maybe Sheamus gets a. I can see Sheamus.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
I keep thinking she's gonna rock up, and because like Dunn keeps messing with him, so I do keep expecting a Shamey cameo.
And it would ring true with NXT's kind of style as well. They haven't needed to really do it for a while, but to bring someone in from the main roster like Shamey, pretty huge. Heading towards the end of the year, you know that it's the quarterly kind of things. Survivor Series is coming up. You put all your eyes on all your products. So send someone over like Sheamus. I'd love to see Sheamus on NXT. Actually, I really would.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do much anywhere, so.
Well, let's keep up the aggression that they started the show with in this last man standing match, and like do something with it. Because, like you say, the aggression that everything that they kind of felt like it was doing went away. I know we all know Pete Dunne can scrap, and we know Trick Williams can as well. But I'd like to see him really go deep and like try and like do some fucked up shit to try and keep Pete down, because he's feeling pretty white meat baby face to me, Trick, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to see some match.
I think
this match needs to have some time on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I'm mistaken, the longest match Trick Williams has been involved in as a singles match is when he was a referee in. Like, it doesn't last very Trick.
Yeah, it wasn't his Dragon match.
I think it was about 12, 13 minutes. I can't remember, to be fair. I will check at some point.
Bit more time. So that's my standing as well, so you can take breathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, the best way you get to start this as well next week is at main events, and then just like before that match happens, they're fighting backstage because they can't control themselves.
Bring it on.
And then bring it, like, literally start the match, like, as I should have done this week, start the match there and then referees here, because it's all falls out anyway. It's falls out anywhere. So, just start it backstage, they go outside the venue, they fight inside the venue, like, they just be chaotic with it. Like,
yeah. When they do that. You can just imagine hearing Vic going, "It looks like we're going now. Now, Buck." Oh, man.
He'll start popping the whole thing.
What happened, Vic? It's going down. Vic, it's going down, man.
And then, yeah, you just got Vic going, "Oh no, Buck! Oh no!"
That boy Trick Willie.
But no, following from that though, we do get a non-title match between North American champion Ovemi and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. And of course, Oba wins. Who'd have thunk it? With the pop-up release powerbomb.
Stacks.
I rated this 2.5 stars. Short match. Oba dominates. One dominates. Stacks gets decimated. Is it really a match, or just a tune-up match for Oba?
Yeah.
Like, it gets to a point where, like, obviously Oba is of a certain stature, of a certain build, certain aura. It's hard to see him in a underdog role. Hard to see him as someone who's going to lose a match. Like,
you need to have the wolves circling him, sharks circling him, or something to make him. But even then, it's just like, yeah, what are you going to do? Have you seen him? Like, he's a god.
So yeah, I've got no real comments on this match other than it was just short. I enjoyed what it was, but it was mainly just a squash match, mainly.
Say that.
I was saying, Sheamus.
Yeah.
Sheamus and Oba.
Yeah.
I feel that Sheamus would definitely be an excellent challenge for him.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd definitely find himself up against a brick wall with Sheamus. It would be really interesting to see that. Sheamus could even maybe take the title. Like you say, he's not doing much of anything else over on the main right now, let's be honest. So
I mean, I'd rather have banger after banger after banger after banger. Just like Sheamus is the only fighter who fight over the next few months. It's just them two in North American title matches.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it.
That's the 7. The 6. Oh, they'll have a pint afterwards. Great. He has to. He has to point out that he's Irish and he likes a pint after, fella.
Of course,
yeah.
Every time. We know Sheamus.
Craig, did you give your thoughts on this match?
No, but it was just there to continue the feud with Tony. But I felt like there's not much else to do. If you're gonna have Oba go over like that, put talent on the line at least.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really do Stacks any favors. Like
No.
if you lose the title match, then. But yeah, it's fine. Like, it was just to continue the feud with the Don. No real. Yeah.
I like the down at the end that they did from like the corner of the Don looking up at Oba, but like you say, that is literally the only thing that match served to actually do.
Yeah.
Unless it drives some kind of it drives part of the whole his feelings and thoughts towards the family and stuff like that. Why put Stacks out there? Because he knows he's going to get fucking squashed. Why did he put him out there, man?
Yeah.
But like you say, quick match, lots of power, nice little filler match for them both. Well, for Oba.
Yeah.
And cool standoff. But there was a lot in this show, wasn't there? And not a lot of stuff got timed. Fuck.
Yeah. It's weird. There's a lot of stuff, but also not a lot of anything.
Yeah.
A lot of nothing.
The pacing was very fast, and like I said, it felt urgent. But now I'm looking back, I'm just like, nothing got time.
Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. Like your starting comments were like quite positive, and I think as you go through it, you might change your mind. Like,
I didn't hate the show, but it's more just for what it could possibly become, not so much what I enjoyed within the show. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've really had done a bit of a 180 throughout this. I'm like, what the?
Maybe that's why none of it was sticking for me, because I was like, I can't remember what really happened on it, and I had to refresh my memory twice today. Like I watched.
If I didn't write this stuff down,
and then
if I didn't write it down, I probably wouldn't remember half of this.
And in my head, because I see things in like pictures and stuff, in my head it's like a super fast reel.
Yeah.
Like it, and I guess that's why nothing really stuck, and like because I didn't get to sit in anything, and like for me with wrestling, it didn't make me feel something. You could be the best wrestler in the entire world, in like officially on paper in that ring, but if I didn't feel something, but you're not giving it time either. Like, but that's how I enjoy my wrestling. So I believe I enjoyed this match. But again, too quick, didn't get time to really kind of sit in it and actually embrace it and enjoy it properly. So,
yeah. So yeah, after this, backstage, people shield your ears and your eyes. It's Karen Petrovic and Brynlee Reese are talking when resident creep comes along, Ashante Adonis. He pops by to offer a shoulder to crown and a red rose. And then Eddie Fort comes by to save the day. Cool. Then Ashante says, "Oh, here's DJ guy," and then Eddie's like, "Yeah, man." And then Ashante's like, "Just because you got no game doesn't mean you got to ruin my game." And yeah,
you are just harassing women at your workplace.
Yeah.
This is where they work. This is his job.
You're going into it to try and raise your colleagues, and when another colleague calls you out, you get pissy about it. Any other job, HR.
Yep.
This guy, I'm sick of it. Stop it, NXT. Shite.
Especially with what WWE are going through at the minute in court. Like, this is not the best thing to be doing.
Awful lot.
No,
No,
it's bad timing.
Also, think about the audience. We know that NXT have got a younger audience. You have a responsibility to not kind of paint this type of behavior as funny or anything, you know. And I know you're trying to be like, oh, he's creepy, it's sleazy. Just stop doing it. It's not something that should be used as entertainment in general.
Yeah.
If it's a case of, oh, he's a creep, he's going to get called out on it, should have had his ass kicked 2 weeks ago.
Put through a table like
Immediately. That other guy got put through a table. We've not heard him since. Dante is still rocking around doing it, and it's like, no, it's not. As a woman, just stop doing it. It's not a fun story. It's not. It's an experience women genuinely have, and it's fucking uncomfortable. And to see it being played out on TV kind of for laughs, to me, irresponsible as shit, because you've got a young male audience there. And what's that telling them?
Well, you've got the flip side of someone saying that.
The flip side of someone calling it out, but he's still doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if you get your ass absolutely kicked next week, it needs to stop.
Yeah, there needs to be a point to it.
Because it's not funny. No. It's not enjoyable. It's an uncomfortable storyline, and it's
like they started all this with Lex King, and they stopped it because they realized how it looked.
Got the ick.
It was too much.
And because they know he's worth way more.
Ugh.
One day he will. They know that hopefully he will be.
He is
NXT champion.
But Ashanti, honestly, like, if this is what Ashanti's got, genuinely, if that's his delivery, and not just that as well, he's not even doing it good. Like, it's not even like.
Is there?
It's just so. Sorry.
Is there a way to do this good?
He's not convicted. It's like he knows it's shit.
It's all one note and stuff like that. Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure even he doesn't believe it and doesn't want to do it because he knows it's fucking.
He must feel comfortable doing it.
It's just I checked out, and for that particular thing, I'm not hopeful. I have no hope.
Nah.
We got our first not hopeful.
First not hopeful.
Oh.
Just call town it now. Done.
Yeah.
I it takes a lot for me to check out on things like say probably I can usually find something to find good or find and enjoy. I get nothing from this. It's rare and it sucks.
It's like I feel bad. I've got to write this stuff down. Like, it's like I don't want to write this stuff down, but I've got to cover it for the sake of just covering everything. Like,
ironically, I think we've been speaking about it in this place.
It's important to. We can't ignore it happened.
Yeah, it's just a show annoyingly, isn't it? Which is
hopefully stop it.
Yeah,
eventually.
Just stop it.
I would really like to see everyone in his place.
WWE, NXT, Ashanti, stop it.
And you're done, pal.
Weird DJ sets.
Yeah. Also, Eddie Thorpe, stop doing your DJ sets. It's weird.
He's a DJ now.
Put some rock and roll on.
Yeah.
That'll see it.
Where's that good old-fashioned rock and roll?
I'm combining a lot of things.
But so we move on from that. Backstage, Javon Evans is talking to Ren Sinclair about the Heritage Cup, and he wants to match Charlie Dempsey. These are his reasons. He got pretty deep in the speed tournament on Twitter. He main evented Heatwave, and he just spun a block on Joe Coffey. Ren asked for more reasons, but Javon hasn't had a job, and if it was a job interview, so Javon can't give it any more reasons.
Never had a job. He's never had a job. He's a child.
Ren says like she likes him, and doesn't normally do this, but will give him a cup match, and essentially awards him a cup match. At which point, Javon runs off saying, Ava! Ava!
I didn't think that was him.
Yeah, he was singing to them. Oh, Ava. I love it. I love him so much.
What move?
In comes Charlie Dempsey. It was like, so what was that about? And then Ren's like, oh, just give him a cut match. You're like, you did what? Like,
We
okay,
discussed this earlier.
it's not official, right? So like, you've not told either of you Ava about this. He's like, no. He's like, good. And like, well, no, Javon's gone to go tell her. I love this.
Look,
I love what she's doing. She's brought a new energy to Charlie Dempsey that I'm enjoying seeing. She's actually he's loosened up a little bit. He's like because he was very stiff, very wooden, and he's loosening up. She brings a nice energy. Javon again, brilliant energy. They were funny together. Miles literally being stood there and having the one earbud in and the other ear completely exposed, which we all know is the ear that you can't hear very well in. It just, again, lovely little banter between them. It was, juicy little segment there.
I love the fact that he couldn't hear anything going on behind him. Between
because he had one
Red.
music.
But how loud's the music that you can't hear anything behind him?
Oh, gotcha. Wait. Oh?
And next week we get Tyrion back as well, so I can't wait to see how this goes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun element to put into the mix, Tavian, and just seeing how Ren works with all three of them, how they all interact with each other, because Charlie and Miles work really well together as well. I like what they do. So it's going to be fun to see what Tavian brings. I'm looking forward to seeing fucking ring.
Yeah.
The last time Ren saw Tavion, she slapped him, so it should be an interesting
I mean, at one point, Ren also thought that Tavion was dead. So
yeah. Put in the boot and thrown over the bridge, didn't she? So.
Oh no, Ren is Ren was needed for this group. Ren was absolutely needed for this group.
Yeah,
we didn't know it, but we didn't know we needed it until we've got it out.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to lose it.
No.
I like that.
I like it. It's great.
I'd rather lose F1 but Ren and have Ren reform a new group.
She's the NQCC queen.
She is the Ren QCC.
Ren QCC. She is Ren QCC.
I quite like that.
I love
that. Feels better to me than the actual.
Ren QCC definitely does. It really does feel better.
It's
the Ren Catch Crew.
Give me all that.
Following on from this, we had a match of the night. This is the main event match, technically. It's Jasmine Nix and Jada Parker. Jada wins with the running hip attack. I rated this 2 3/4 stars. It was alright. It definitely served as a way for Jada to get a win back after losing to Roxanne at No Mercy. But the way the match was structured didn't suit its placement. This was the main event, and it went a whole 6 minutes, which should have been done much better, because Jada's just had a star-making performance here, and you put her in this match, and again, she didn't hit her finish properly. So it looked like she's running, and then just runs into her.
Just kick her in the face.
She's got to go through all of them to make this match seem worth anything.
Yeah.
Next week, Fallon, then JC.
True.
She takes out all them. Enough time.
Kind of proving herself. She's the new one of these new girls.
Yeah,
just and then it. You're like,
that gives Kalani time to do some more stuff, get a few more wins, maybe in a few more months. Come full circle.
Yeah.
JD comes up. So like I've beaten the baddest bitches in this on the
roster. Yeah.
So let's go. I've fought everyone. I need to fight you now, Kalani.
Yeah.
And then just that with her hair. Like,
I thought you meant headbutts.
so it's just
What you
not-
She's not to, like-
she will do when she crossed
That Roxanne out of the chair.
That was brilliant. It's like, I'm gonna slap you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Taste that in your mouth and then just did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Whatever happened, like this match was fine.
Yeah.
But you can how these two still aren't the most experienced. It is a bit frustrating considering how much of a banger Jada had in the PLE. But, yeah, it was just like
Very surprising.
yeah, this was
Dude,
just
I think Jasmine, Nix, and Jada to put them on the main roster in this way.
On the main event, you mean?
The main event, sorry, in this way, yeah, not main roster, sorry. Jasmine's showing a lot. But yeah, this match didn't necessarily do the world of wonders for either of them. It, like you say, the placement on the card, it was odd. I feel like it should have been Dax Sonoba or something like that, even as a squash, because the main event was yet to come anyway. When there's a segment afterwards, you know that's the whole point. So the match always does feel, not always, but like quite often I feel when I know the segment, it feels like it's not as big of a deal as necessarily it should be, or they are putting it out to be, because it's not the real main event. It's not what you're going to be. It's not the last image that you're going to see of the show. It's not the last thing you're going to remember from the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think putting it as the main event now, giving them that shot, tactical move, good idea. Let's see how they handle it. I don't think they handled it badly by any stretch of the imagination, and I think it's a good opportunity to give two new up and comers the chance to share the spotlight on the main event. Yeah, 2.5, 3 stars, something like that. It was what it was, and like you say, given that Jada had that absolute banger the previous night, but you got to consider who her dance partner was the night before.
Yeah.
So it's not who carried, but like she still needs that. She's still growing, you know. She still needs that person to not hold her hand through anything, but like they can add an extra element to her game, or make her add an extra element to her game in a way that maybe someone else who's up and coming can't, because they're still figuring it out too.
So there is an open challenge for a title coming up next week. So
yeah,
like
There
if
is.
you're starting performance,
Oh my god, Jada and Jordan.
like you've literally got a champion coming to defend their title against anyone.
yeah. Very true.
Not just a champion, one of the best champions in their company right now. Probably the best champion in the company right now.
Mm-hmm.
So dominant.
Jordan Grace right now. So yeah, that's a match I would like to see. That's I think more than likely going to win each year. But yeah, I'm still very high on Jasmine. I think she's fantastic and a lot to come. But yes, won it.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, after that match, Fatal Influence do attack Jada and essentially just lay her out. And she is now the target of Fatal Influence. So yeah, to follow on to what you said earlier as well, like it's gonna be clearly her going up, like facing Fallon, facing JC, and going through those people, and probably even maybe getting that some sort of 3-on-3 thing going, potentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At some point down the line, you got to pad out the whole storyline, haven't you? It's when it's built there for you. Like you should take those opportunities, because you can eventually build. They're building her up to be a title holder.
Yeah.
Gotta be, because she's proven her worth more, like over the last 6 months.
Her progression has gotten.
She's
like,
one of those that progress super fast, yeah, and you can tell there's natural talent there. And we were saying last week about it being a D1 soccer player, football player. They are aggressive in that stuff in America, like in female football. Like they do not mess about, and like so she's a game competitor. She brings it out.
She's legit tough.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Jane. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Better finisher, please. Better finisher, please.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
That's
I'm not really a fan
Just
of
a way
it.
to make it more dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, hip attacks,
They can look brutal.
they can look brutal, but they can also look super shit too. It's kind of like it's a very double-edged sword with a hip attack.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just don't call it a hip attack. Just if literally her finish, if her finisher was just running into someone, like
Jada just
that
put
would.
her ass in a face.
No, but like her finisher right now is just running into someone and like literally just colliding into them. Like
She's running through him.
if
Yeah,
that was the finisher, just colliding into someone rather than the hip attack, that would work better because you could sell it that way as being that.
I could definitely imagine Vic saying, like Nick was just saying, running for, runs through her or something like that. Like she called it the RTH.
It's like similar things like Bron Breaker's spear. Like Bron Breaker gets insane speed running back and forth. Like she's doing a similar thing with getting the running back and forth between the ropes to build speed for a hip attack that doesn't really hit.
throw their entire body at them, but like the hardest parts first.
She should call it in the mud. She's putting them
in the
it needs
mud.
it needs a better name. The name is an issue. Like, got me chin with protect your neck. That's a great name for a finisher.
That's good as well, yeah. That's very good.
And the easy feet as well. Like it's just works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's else.
But yeah, so we move on from that towards the final stretch of the show. Backstage, the women's locker room are proud of Kalani Jordan, but they're curious to know if the newbie will turn up. She's been wrestling longer than most of them in that locker room.
Had way more matches than any of them combined.
The newbie. But in comes Fatal Influence to mock everyone there. And they also send a warning to Kalani and her days as champion. So, I think we might have found one of Jada's allies.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the Mean Girls.
Yeah. So after this, we get a Twitter post from Duke Hudson just to say he's been processing everything that's happened with Ridge, and he plans to get revenge. And it's at that point then that the match next week is confirmed between Ridge Holland and Duke Hudson. After this, though, it's time for the real main event. It's a promo by Roxanne Perez. She mocks Jada for losing. Talks about how she's the second all-time PLE title defenses. She smashed Io Sky's and Asuka's records, and now the main roster can't stop talking about her. She says that Jada is a star for the future for sure, but right now it's all Roxanne. She's a fantasy matchup constant, but it doesn't matter when reality meets fiction because the result is always the same. It doesn't matter who you are, you can't take the title from her, whether you're the hottest NXT prospect or former NXT champion or even the hottest free agent from Japan. When the smoke clears, it'll be Roxanne Perez holding her title in the air. Then the lights go out. It's Julia! No, wait a minute. It's Chelsea.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh,
Room, and they came back, and the screen was just paused with Chelsea, and I went, Chelsea came out.
Love it.
Really love it. What a troll.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
She comes out and literally says, "Wait for someone else."
She knows who she is.
She knows
what she's
about.
doing.
She's great.
Perfect.
She plays the crowd and asks why her section smells like BO and mildew. She says that
she's been wrestling shows.
she says that there's speculation over who Roxanne will talk about next, and that she's beloved by the NXT universe. Which, to be fair, she gets a good amount of cheers.
She's loved. She is loved.
Absolutely. And she would do anything for her fans. Well, most of them, because some of them are quite creepy.
Yeah.
Fair.
she calls Roxanne a fun-sized champion, and nobody can tell Chelsea that she's not the number one contender. Not what was it? Not Prickhead Pierce. No.
Oh, Nicholas.
Yeah.
Nicholas.
Nicholas the Prickless. That's right. Yeah. Pinhead Pierce. And something.
And no favour Ava.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you. No favour Ava.
No favour Ava.
So then they'll tell you that she's not the number one contender, and then the lights go out again. And it's have to fix their electrics, you know.
It's Julia.
Just imagine like the song plays, it's like, it's Julia.
It's Julia. And then
I was waiting for some shitty Death Rebel theme to be like, Julia. Sorry, like.
That's just a war crime.
it's sort of shouting her name, and then like it brings it to some weird kind of racist theme.
Yeah, very.
probably, if it was a few years ago,
100%.
they probably would have done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am surprised they didn't go for something super freaking like just nearly all of them now have got like something at the beginning, like a voice saying something.
Yeah.
You know, I could have just assumed to be like, it's Julia. That would have been something they would have gone for.
Yeah.
Just no, because we might not know.
Thing is, I wouldn't mind that too much. Only for this instance where I mean, it's Chelsea, it's Julia. Like,
Yeah.
That's. It's also Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Incredible.
but that is hers. It's not. It's Piper. It's also Piper.
Yeah, it's also Piper. And don't forget.
Yeah, Julia's here. Julia has an aura. I'll keep saying it because you know, like aura is a big thing with showcasing your new stars. She comes in, lays out Chelsea Green with the safest knee I've ever seen her hit.
Didn't connect.
Yeah.
It didn't connect.
Chelsea's over the line still though.
That's what I mean by safest knee. It didn't hit at all.
Chelsea pulled her arse off for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's sold with her entire soul. That girl, she knows what she's doing.
It was the shock of not being hit. It's like when you miss a step. It's the same deal. Oh.
After she lays out Chelsea, she stares down Roxanne. Roxanne held the title in the air, and Julia declares her shot at Roxanne for the CW show on October 1st. And this naturally gets some boos. We want it now. We want the fight now.
I think they were expecting more from her or something else. Yeah, it didn't land, which is a shame. But that match is gonna go.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. But that
I
does
don't
end
think
the
they
show.
need to do. I don't think they needed to have Julia talk. Just stare her down again, or take her out. Just like I don't think Julia needs to say 3 words. I get a language barrier, but it's she didn't need to. You've given her an aura already. You don't need her talking.
So, fun
Yeah.
fact, her English is pretty good.
You got to said that.
Her English is pretty good, Julia. Like, she's born in England.
They had to say 3 words. Like
Supposed to,
It's like you, me, CW. It's
supposed to be like proper old school,
Yeah.
dread, innit? Like the whole
Like-
dread sundown kind
I
of.
think we'll get more from her down the line, you know? Like, right now, she doesn't say too much of anything. Like, it's down the line that she'll start doing more promos and stuff like that. Like, in a similar vein to how Asuka was, like, when she was champion. Like, and Asuka didn't have, the born in England part to her life. Like, she was purely only wrestling in Japan when she came over. Like, so the language barrier was a big thing for her. And, over time she developed herself and she was this monster, this machine on NXT.
Yeah.
Like, and she was killer. Like, and I think we'll get the same thing here with Julia. Like, Julia is the modern day Asuka. Like, or Kana, even, if we're going to go on that route.
Yeah.
Like, she's fantastic, Julia. And I can't wait.
Do you think they're going to change the name?
No, they and nor should they.
Do you think they're going to change the name?
Nor should they.
No.
Yeah.
It's just always a risk with WWE, isn't it? Always a risk.
I think.
You can never be.
Like,
They're easy enough.
Yeah, I think.
Shit. No.
The rebrands.
I think Io Sky was the last one they did because that was still during the old regime.
I think maybe Pete Dunne's Butch might have been the last.
I think that was a.
And then that's
I
a
think
bit
that
of a
was, like,
story over on the main
crazy
roster
also.
now as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that he was given a shit nickname. They're actually making it part of the story. So
Yeah.
Oh, the LA kid. Maggie Dupree.
yeah, Max
Yeah.
Dupree.
Max Dupree.
I
So
know.
they're pulling out the stupid nicknames over on main roster now. So maybe that's going to be a thing that they're going to be stopping because they're kind of making a bit of a thing about
Well,
about
Kevin
it.
Owens said, "Oh, congratulations, you got your name back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, well, you must be happy you got your name back. Hey.
Yeah.
But Julia is. I figured this was exactly. This is basically how I imagined this segment was going to end. I didn't think Chelsea was going to be in there.
No, I don't.
That was.
Wasn't it?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. And I know, go on.
I was just saying, I heard Chelsea's leave out to do who was going to get the beating. Like she was going to get battered for it. And it's I get it, but it could have been someone else. Poor Chelsea. She gets a lot of shit.
What Chelsea does best. It's
Getting
Yeah,
battered.
she is.
She takes
She knows.
the biggest
She knows.
the Money in the Bank and doesn't win it. Like she takes the biggest bump at Money in the Bank and doesn't win the match. Like, yeah, it's just happens all the time.
She did an interview. I can't remember if it was Fightful or wherever. I don't remember where it was, but she did it either early in the year this year or late last year. And basically, they were talking to her like, "Oh, you don't really win the big one. You never quite." And she said that's how she quite prefers it. As
Yes.
her character, she understands Chelsea Green,
That was
the wrestler, the character.
Chris Van Vliet.
Actually work better in this respect. She isn't necessarily there to win all the big ones. She's there to put on a show and entertain. And if that means getting her ass kicked, she's more than happy to do that. And so that's one thing I love about Chelsea Green is as a person, she knows what she's about, where she wants to be within this wrestling landscape and how she wants to go about it. And it isn't all for her as a person about winning all these big titles. It's about creating and being part of little or big moments. And I quite respect her for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
She did a brilliant job of doing it as well. She's one of the best at it, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean
Like-
that Money in the Bank bump she took, like she did it TNA in a Queen of the Mountain match with Dion Perazzo, and it looked worse because it was a shorter distance. Like from the TNA ring to the outside was shorter distance. Like it wasn't as lengthy as the ring, and it looked. The tables exploded. Like these, but like yeah, but I feel like with Chelsea. You know, there was one thing. There was one title she has won, and that's the Knockouts title, and that's coming to NXT next week. She didn't lose a Knockouts title, so you've got that as well. Like I think that'd be a nice way to like thank her for doing that shit. Like
She deserves it. And like she will get. I reckon one day she will actually finally get the women's title. I think
Yeah.
she deserves it. Yeah, even
Mhm.
if it's just for like a couple of minutes, and then someone comes and cashes in on her. Like just. It's a very Chelsea Green thing.
I'd have her be the one.
Happen.
I'd have her be the one that cashes in on
Yeah.
someone.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah.
She just steals it, comes off,
Yeah.
and then Piper protects her.
Like, 'cause
Forever.
it's how you
Like-
it's how you build someone like sort of from out of nowhere. Like no one's need to come in until she wins the briefcase, and it's like, oh shit, why should she go as a champion? Like,
She'll get it one day.
mhm.
now Chelsea does look the other way of coaches.
Oh,
Chelsea.
But yeah, no, it does seem we are due the Julia and Chelsea Green match on NXT, being Julia's debut NXT match. Before before Roxanne and at the CW show. But with that in mind, that is how the show ends. The show ends with the exact shot that should have ended No Mercy.
It's like they realised.
Yeah.
Instead of let's do it now.
Because we've done this today, though, with the two together, I now put that episode of NXT and No Mercy as one show.
It's not one show.
So it ends in the right way.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
So Jade had 2 matches. You know, like.
She worked double duty. She's a goer. Like in wrestling terms.
It was a 2-night no.
I had a slightly less intense match. It was like kind of about half. I'd call it an over semi. And then
yeah.
That's the thing now.
But no, on that note, we'll be putting it on a t-shirt, probably, maybe, I don't know. But no, on that note, that does bring an end to NXT, No Mercy, and of course this review. I want to thank my guests for coming on. Mr. Impact Craig, as normal. His Twitter is just underneath his camera, just over there. There it is. And his other links will be in the description below. And also I want to thank Penciled In Crew for coming in as well for this episode. All their links are to the side, just next to the camera over there. But as well as any other links that I have for them will also be underneath in the description below. And for the video itself, please like, share, subscribe. It's all free and hurts no one. It helps us a lot. Comment as well. What did you like, dislike? Does he more of anything, less of anything? Other shows covered, like hasn't got to be just NXT. I do here. I don't mind. But other than that, that has been the show. I don't think I've missed anything to plug or anything. No.
Nope. Just the usual. Anyone who's making good, non-toxic wrestle content for people to enjoy, like yourself, like ourselves, like all ourselves.
Let us know.
All ourselves.
Yep. Put it out there, share it, and follow it and all that good stuff. Thank you for having us again, man.
No worries. And thank you for everyone coming on, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Hopeful.